Coming to you from the award-winning Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Lounge, PCA's 2024 Best of Leaf Midwest Cigar Bar, Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge, it's the Final Third Podcast.
Welcome back to a very special episode of Blossom.
Yeah.
This week on Dawson's Creek.
Oh, Dawson's Creek. That's true.
That's
Blossom
good
was
enough.
back,
Yeah.
really long time ago.
Yeah.
So I'm Rob.
The other Will.
I'm Will.
And I'm Scott. And obviously, you can see that Mike is not here today.
Yeah,
So
he's dead to us.
I just updated our podcast notes to say Mike isn't here today, and we don't know what the fuck we're doing. So
Kind of
we'll see
like
how
when
it goes.
Isaiah was off on his first one, Mike's dead
Right.
to us.
Right,
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Until he's back next week, then he's great.
That's
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah.
Right? It is a big day. Man, I don't know about you guys. I am pumped.
A
It's
lot of stuff going on
IU
today.
and Ohio State.
Huge
Yes.
Like
yes.
this is crazy. I mean, we're excited about the smoking and the drinking. We're gonna get right into that, but wow, it's going to be a big day. So
It is going to be a big
we got
day.
a lot to talk about,
We
even
do.
though we don't really have notes or know what we're doing. We got plenty to talk about. So
It
Rob,
is
tell
what-
us where we're starting.
So this is going to be the pairing of the month for December. We're smoking the Black Friday from HVC, this year's edition, the Ometepe. This one,
I like that word, ometepe.
I love this cigar. It's very unique. When we did the tasting of the little Fumas, there was no Ometepe tobacco in there, and that note was very unique to all the other tobaccos, and you can taste it. It's just one leaf in here, but you can taste that Ometepe tobacco in there. So thought it'd be a great one to pair. Once they're gone, they're gone. I mean, they're a limited edition, but we'll have that as the pairing, and we're pairing that today with the new release from Whiskey Acres. It's the Bloody Butcher straight bourbon whiskey coming in at 95.6 proof. We love this, so we're excited to talk about it. See how the pairing goes.
We've heard some good things about it. They released it a couple weeks ago, and I know Nick from Whiskey Acres was just talking to Steve Strabbing at Indiana Small Batch, and Nick said they sold I want to say 700 bottles for opening weekend.
That's awesome.
They
Nice.
blew their expectations away, but this is one of their yearly releases. It's a limited release. Only comes out in the fall.
Yeah.
Not a lot of bottles, I don't think, compared to their others, but yeah.
So we have a good reason for doing this particular pairing, the Black Friday cigar with the Bloody Butcher, right? It's pretty brutal out there the day after Thanksgiving. You get out there and shop, and you might run into some sort of, Bloody Butcher, axe murderer type.
Especially if you're the person that goes to Walmart to shop.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It feels like it's not quite as crazy as it used to be, which is nice. I mean, thank you, Amazon and the internet and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still, pretty nuts out there. But we got an event coming up. And for once, we're actually not just talking about an event while we're at the event or something.
Yeah.
We're going
Or
to,
after the
this
fact.
one's going to be on Monday. And so Rob, tell us what's going on Friday, on Black Friday out here.
Black Friday is adult daycare. So if you don't want to go shopping, or if you want to come after you get done shopping, just come hang out, relax. We're gonna probably have some pretty good specials. If you do want to continue your shopping here, we're gonna have some good deals going on. We're gonna continue with the Aladino 20% off boxes, plus free cigars, plus chances to win the humidor setup for all that. But we will have some merchandise deals going on that day, and just a lot of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. We also, which we'll talk about this, we'll be doing this next week on the show. We'll also have flights available by that time.
Hey, how about that? I don't even know. I should be playing something right now on this thing because
What can I say except you're welcome?
that's about right. Yeah. Here you go. Little air horn action.
So it's going to be a fun week. I mean, Thanksgiving's coming up, so hopefully you guys have some great times with your family and friends, and but we're excited to have some stuff coming on in here too.
And to have the opportunity to come out here on Friday and decompress after what is the chaos that is Thanksgiving Day, at least in
After
our
you've
house.
been hanging out with your family the whole
Yes.
time, if you need
Yeah.
the escape.
30 to plus people at our house on Thursday, it's going to be a little bit of chaos. So it's nice to come and have a day,
Relax.
have a couple hours to decompress with some friends and enjoy the event. So
Yeah.
Well, and then also Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, is the biggest drinking day in America.
Yes.
So if you got family and friends coming into town, you want to come a place to come hang out, come out here and bring them out here and just relax. We're a pretty chill environment. So if you just want to come relax before the big day,
Do you figure
come on
that
in.
contributes to Thanksgiving Day family feuds? Like everybody's going out Wednesday night, you get all messed up. The next day you wake up, you got to like cook
hungover,
early and
having to
everything,
deal
and
with
you're
family.
hungover.
it
and,
could be.
you know, you got the little kids running around, and I need some food. When are we eating? And you know, shut the hell up. And hey, don't tell my kid that. You know,
the cure,
and then
the cure for that is just to get up and jump on a mimosa and start rolling.
Keep
that's
going,
true.
yes.
Yeah.
Keep that
Yeah,
train
just
rolling.
keep the buzz going.
Just get it moving.
I don't know. Did you guys already lit up? Did you guys get into the cold draw at all?
I didn't talk about it, but I did
Yeah.
cold draw on it, and it's nice.
It's like a raisin or a date or something.
Yeah, I didn't do it this time, but yesterday,
Mhm.
I think I had this yesterday or day before. Yeah, very raisiny,
Yeah.
Fruity.
Yeah, there's a fruit in there too on top of
I
the
got
raisin.
a slight milk chocolate covered raisin.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it was actually because like lots of times you get the dark chocolate notes. I actually thought that this one had a little bit of a high side to it, and even now as I'm taking my first few puffs, I still feel like I'm having like milk chocolate covered raisins.
I
Raisinets.
get it 100%.
Exactly, and I'm a dark chocolate guy. But the nice thing is because it's a cigar, it's tobacco. It doesn't have
Yeah.
the sweetness behind it, and that's why I don't like milk chocolate. It's too sweet. So this is great because it has all that flavor without having the sugar with it.
Yep. No, very nice.
I think this is going to go well with the whiskey. It's already it's almost 20 after 10 in the morning. It's time to start drinking.
Let's see where we're at, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Ah, the aroma, man.
Tell you, Whiskey Acres, when they make something, you know it's going to be good.
And it's going to be the grain is going to be there. It's gonna
Yeah.
absolutely make itself known.
Well, okay. So this is a good time to talk about this. Bloody Butcher. Bloody Butcher's had a bad name because of one brand. We won't mention the name Jeff the Creed, but we will definitely say that it's not a good bird. But I mean, the Jeff the Creed has that similar, that kind of moldy, kind of musty taste to it, which I don't know if they're going for that or if it just happens to be how their process always is or what. But a lot of people that don't like Bloody Butcher always think of that and they'll never try it.
It's the corn.
That's
That's what we found out.
Yep.
Is there is a mold that doesn't change anything except if you
flavor.
if you distill it.
Yeah.
Well, Bloody Butcher,
Well-
has a higher moisture content
Yeah.
than most other varietals. So
They're holding
to
on to that
point,
corn longer.
if you don't dry it thoroughly and properly, it's very susceptible to mold, more so than yellow dent or some of the other corns. And so you got to be careful with it.
Yeah.
And you
And the mold doesn't hurt you, and it doesn't change the taste
It
of the
does.
corn when it's just
Mm.
corn. What I understand is that particular mold only impacts it when it goes through the fermentation
But once
process.
it's mashed, well, actually, when it's mashed, you can taste it too. But once it's mashed, fermented, and distilled, you will never get rid of it at that point.
Yeah.
Once it's there in the cook, it's there.
yeah.
And it doesn't. It doesn't matter if you are putting together 5 or 6 batches and you put them all together and one of those is tainted.
Yeah.
You've got taint corn.
They're
Well,
all
that was a
tainted.
good flashback with Woodhat when we were out there talking to Gary. You know, he actually pulled out a cooler of Bloody Butcher that had stayed a little too wet, so it had that kind of moldy smell, and we all smelled it, and everyone said Jeff the Creed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it smelled like, and he wasn't the one throwing that out there, but it was just because he said this batch came in and it wasn't
And-
dried properly.
And to be fair, I think Jeff the Creed has improved their whole process, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, I know we kind of talk about them as being that Bloody Butcher one, but they have upped their game quite a bit. And I think they're doing a lot better.
Good,
Than they
good.
Well, I
4 or
remember
5 years ago. Yeah.
The blind
Yeah.
that we had the flight that you ordered when we were down in Knoxville or somewhere. I forget where it was.
Yeah, Southern
But,
Indiana,
Yeah,
on our way
so-
through. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was the Jeff the Creed was on there, and Rob, you didn't notice it in
Nope,
that one.
I didn't. So they may have already improved it at that point.
So props to them for kind of learning that and
Yeah.
discovering it. I mean, look, a lot of these things are kind of hidden gems of knowledge that you're trying to figure out. So
What are you guys getting on the palate? Just
Oh
curious.
man,
It's really good.
with this cigar, it just is so sweet.
this
got a
this
really
ended up
good
being a really
sweetness.
good pairing.
It did.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. This reminds me of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I get enough cinnamon. It's not overpowering cinnamon, but I get enough to know it's there.
Yeah.
And then it kind of, but I get a wave of caramel, like just caramel and sweet corn and cinnamon. Like
I get
light cinnamon.
a little bit of almond.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I've been eating a lot of nuts. I'm, losing weight right now, so I've just been eating.
You look great, by the way.
Thank
You
you,
do,
appreciate
man.
that.
Yeah.
Not trying to fish for compliments.
Well, I
but
was going to say you're nuttier than usual.
That's true. That's true. Like what's her name last night? Lisa, your nuts taste really good in my mouth.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
it was so funny.
There was a couple people in having a good time last night,
Yeah.
and somebody ate some nuts, and they were Lisa's nuts.
Well, and Janelle too. She's been on the same kind of diet as you, I think.
Yep.
And she's crushing it, man.
So we're eating a lot of deluxe nuts, right?
Yeah.
They're delicious. They're great to snack on and real healthy
Great
for
protein.
you.
Yep.
And just now I'm feeling like I could pick out a walnut from a Brazil
Yeah.
nut, from a macadamia. I mean, I can get all of it. So this to me definitely has a great kind of soft almond backing. The caramel that you talked about.
Yep.
I think it goes really, really well with the cigar because it almost becomes like having trail mix, right? Like a little fruit, little nuts, and you just get all these flavors kind of mellowing out together on your palate.
Well, I don't know if you guys have retrohaled this yet or not, but it really increased the spice on the cigar and the
for sure.
retrohale.
Yeah, it definitely kicks it up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but not like the
not like the red or
Los
No.
what was that? The
Las Seis Provincia.
Yes, thank
OT,
you.
Yeah. You're right. It's fleeting. It's very spicy and then it fades off quick, where
Yeah,
some of them just kind of keep building and you start watering your eyes.
I just love the grain essence on this too. Like it's there and it's proud and it's so like it's not, I mean it's there but not in a bad way at all.
Right.
Like,
Well,
it's
I mean,
really-
we've talked about this with Whiskey Acres so much, right? I don't know that there's anybody else that as a brand brings the grain so forward
Yeah.
and does it so well.
I don't think so. The
Yeah.
only one I'd even say is approaching that I've tried at least, and they're not even close, but they're approaching that would be Woodhead. I think Gary does a good job of that too.
Yeah.
But Whiskey Acres is specifically doing that, and you know it every time.
There is every time I have this, and this happens a lot with the Bloody Butchers in general, there is a bright, like really, really bright note to me in the aroma, especially. And I can't quite, it's not floral. It's something.
it's almost like I don't want to say apricot, but like
That's where my mind was going.
there's something that it's you get the corn's so prevalent that and it's there and I like that part of it, but the corn kind of masks it a little bit. But I
It's
feel
almost like a dehydrated apricot.
I was
going to
actually say maybe almost, it's not grassy, but kind of that fresh cut grass.
or fresh
Like
cut hay.
ozone. Those
Oh, yeah,
it's those ozone machines. There's that really, really kind of bright, you go, oh, that's just got like a freshness
Mm-hmm.
to it, right? And I feel like that's there. It's not overpowering. It's just kind of like, I don't know, to me it just seems to open up my palate quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of a unique thing. I only get it in the Bloody Butchers.
Well,
I've never got it in anything
It's another
else.
one of those whiskeys that makes your mouth water too.
It is.
Which I like that.
So I got to tell you a side story,
All right.
totally unrelated. Speaking of, you brought up ozone.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing these ozone blood treatments. At
Yeah,
this
I
place.
saw you.
So
sent
this
that
thing's
out.
crazy. So I went to this wellness center because I'm always trying to see whatever I can do to make myself a little bit healthier. And so what they do basically with these ozone treatments is they draw out about a pint of your blood. Okay, they bag it, and then they give you an IV, obviously to pull the blood and everything, and then they run it through this machine that adds ozone to your blood. And while it's running through this machine, it's passing through a UV light to kill any viruses, any bad things you got running through your blood. And then you infuse it back in. over the course of like 30 minutes. And I'm telling you what, man, when you come out of this place, at least for the next couple of days afterwards too, you have this like new like energy, and you would get, your senses are so heightened, like colors, everything looks like it's in HD. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's just amazing. Like, so I've done 3 treatments, and each time they ramp up the amount of blood that they pull. So the more blood they pull and the more they do, obviously the bigger the effect is. But but
how often do they recommend you do something
once
like that?
you go through, they tell you to go through like 3 in a row, like 3 weeks in a row.
Okay.
And then at that point, kind of a maintenance thing is you want to do it maybe once a month, maybe once a quarter, you know, as you feel like you need it.
I want to try that.
I kind of do.
I'm
too.
in.
Yeah.
I'm in. You have
Anyway,
to give us
sorry,
some
that was the size.
No,
when you said
thank you
ozone.
for-
No,
I
I can't figure out, because you're putting ozone, which is like oxygen, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
with an
yeah.
extra molecule.
Right,
Yeah.
right. O3.
With an extra atom. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, is that like blood doping?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
100%.
Makes sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what Lance
couldn't
got popped with.
With doing that.
Ah,
Gotcha. Okay.
makes sense.
Yep. Which
Well,
isn't, it's not like it's bad for you. I mean, you're just
No, it's just
oxygenating your blood.
Well,
and,
like he said, you're
you're
gaining
not
more
doing
energy.
anything crazy. So
Yeah.
But it is. Yeah. If I was on the Tour de France, I'd be
You'd be in trouble.
in trouble right now. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I know you've been
coming.
training so hard
Yeah.
for that.
I know. Trey.
Yes. Yes.
Really working on his biking. Oh, we got the big noon kickoff and game day both at Ohio State today. So let's talk about this game, guys. I mean, I think in my mind, this is where everybody says, okay, IU having, you know, the best year that they've ever had in the history of the program.
Yep.
But the question still remains, is it legit?
Right.
They beat Michigan. We know Michigan's having a down year.
Yeah.
Right? They beat Nebraska, again, down year. They beat
Washington.
Washington. And, you know, I don't know that I'd say Washington's having a down year. It's going to be all new for them because moving into the Big Ten, right?
Right.
So
Right.
it's kind of one of those things. This is the statement day. And I say that the Michigan game was a necessity. That Michigan has beat the crap out of Indiana for decades. You know,
That was
a
a
win
huge
here
win.
or there. And even on a down year in the Big Ten with Michigan, it's still freaking Michigan.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter when they've had your number for that many years in a row. And
Yeah.
you finally get that, you know, monkey off your back and beat them. That's huge, right? Like,
Yep.
So this is another one. I mean, I don't remember when they said the last time. I think it's 1988 was the last time IU beat Ohio State
Wow.
in football.
And the thing is, the last 8-9 years, they've been so close so
There's
many
been a couple
times. They just
times.
can't finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
This team can finish. This team actually finishes better than they start.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting.
I
And
think they need to put their foot to the gas and don't let up
I agree.
the whole game.
I agree.
Don't get comfortable.
Nope.
You know, just score.
So you think if
and-
they score 40, they win?
Yeah.
I do too.
I'd
Yeah,
agree.
because I
Yeah.
don't think their defense is going to allow.
Well, and I think Ohio
Right.
State's
A
offensive
high-end
line is
game.
down right now a little bit too.
Yeah.
And IU's defense is playing really well. So if their offensive line's down, that quarterback's going to be scrambled a little
Yeah, I
bit.
think I saw 11 interceptions on the season so far.
Yeah, so that's good news too, because IU's got a lot of defensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
it'll
mean,
be
they've been
interesting to see.
positive on the turnover
Yep.
every single game.
And IU, the key to I think IU winning on defense is they've got to stop the run. If they can stop the run, and then they can control the clock better and make OSU throw it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they got a chance. But if they get that running game going and they can't stop it, that's going to be a long
Yeah,
day.
that's kind of where
Yeah.
Michigan thrived. Was their running game
Yeah.
was beating up the defense.
Well, in
Yes.
the second half,
Yeah.
it was brutal.
Yeah.
So,
IU
if they
didn't
can-
score a point in the third quarter, did they? Like
Yeah.
in the Michigan
it was,
game,
Right.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough.
They hardly had the ball, so it's just.
But they held on and got the win. And
Yeah.
and to me, that was something that team needed. It might not have been a statement to the media or to fans that are not, familiar with IU football, which is pretty much nobody,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Everyone's learning this year. Yeah, that's
Yep.
it. Just
Yep.
actually just the last 2 weeks, really.
So what's interesting is the loser of this game will not be going to the Big Ten championship. The winner of this game most likely will, assuming they win out their last game. It's going to be interesting because whoever wins this game and goes on to the Big Ten championship, if they get pummeled by Oregon,
Yeah.
which we know Oregon will be there,
Yeah.
how's that going to affect the playoffs? So there's a lot of people talking out right now about maybe whoever loses this game
Actually has a
better
benefit.
position in the playoffs than who would if they go to the Big Ten
I was
championship
kinda thinking that
and
same
lose
thing.
it. Now, if you go to the Big Ten championship and win it, obviously you're going to be you're going to be solid. You're going to have a bye, probably.
Yes,
you know,
you're going to be
so-
number 1 seed.
But if you're not, this going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So,
You know, I've heard so much crazy shit like that this week. I mean, some ESPN analyst said that IU should sit their starting quarterback.
well, that's
Oh, I saw that too. That's just dumb.
It was dumb. I mean, come on, how much
play to win.
planning? At some point, you're just going over the top.
Yeah,
right?
that would be the time when they did that, and then next week Purdue just pummels them.
right,
And Purdue's terrible this year.
right, and then you're out of the playoffs.
And then you're out of the playoff period. Yeah.
I don't know, stupid things like
Just
that.
win.
Like,
Just win.
dude,
and rivalry games matter. I don't
They
care
do.
what the record is going into those games. If Ohio State goes in to play Michigan next week and they're not prepared, Michigan will whoop their ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's one game they want to win, it's that game.
So, and that's another unique scenario too. If IU loses today, and then Ohio State goes and gets beat by Michigan next week, IU's in the Big Ten
Purdue,
championship.
Yeah.
If IU wins it,
Oh, yeah.
and then now that IU could be knocked out of the playoff by getting beat by both Ohio State and Oregon.
A lot.
There's a
can
lot
still
going
happen.
on. I'm excited. This is the most excited I've been in a long time.
Man.
for
I'm so
college
excited
football.
for this playoff format.
Well,
it's going to be great.
If you're a
Yeah.
pro analyst and you're making suggestions like sit your starting quarterback, yeah,
You need to sit down.
You're stupid.
You go from
Yeah.
analyst to anal cyst real fast.
Yeah. But when this is actually airing, the game will be over, and I'm sure
We'll know.
we'll see. So
Yeah, come out on Black Friday or come out
Yeah.
Wednesday and we'll shoot the shit about it.
yes,
Yeah.
you can say that we were really good on our prediction, or we suck.
Yep. I plan on being here both Wednesday and Friday. Although Wednesday it'll be a little bit later because I think we're gonna, well, maybe not 5 or 6, something like that. I think we're gonna go to Mexican,
Okay.
back over to Hacienda.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Holy hell! We had some comments from some folks that watched that show, and Will, I know you were not there,
Yeah.
but wow, that was.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, thanks to
Yeah.
Hacienda Antonio. That was
Antonio, Andreas.
awesome.
Antonio killed it.
Those
his
guys were
generosity,
awesome.
his generosity was just
Stupid.
amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was, and we got to try some incredible tequilas.
I know. I'm bummed I missed it. It was like a
Man.
great time.
But
Yeah.
we were all feeling real good. By
Yeah.
the end of our time there, we had
We
we all
consumed a little
stumbled
bit.
out.
Yeah. But I mean, every one of those tequilas were fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh,
Every
amazing.
single one of them. And I mean, we were trying some really high end tequilas. I mean, all the ones in those big bottles were all high end tequilas.
and some of those were
Class Azul.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the Class Azul is notoriously soft.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's not an aggressive tequila, but it stood up to the cigar.
Well, and what was that? The extra añejo, was that the one that kind of had some of those bourbony notes, but it was still,
Still tequila,
Tequila.
but yeah.
but it was just super nice on the palate. It was
I've
really
never
nice.
had an extra añejo. That would have been cool to.
I've got
try.
a good
Oh, yeah?
one back here. I'll let
Oh,
you try.
okay,
Not the
yeah.
Class Azul, but another good one though. You
Yeah.
can try it.
Yeah.
The Special Supreme or whatever we had last.
yeah,
Mm.
the Herradura.
Oh man,
That was really good
that's-
too.
I love that brand. So, but
Do you?
great show. Thank you to Antonio and
Yeah.
Hacienda. Make sure that you visit our friends over there. Go get some lunch or dinner and try
Yeah.
their big ass margarita.
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Sit in the bar, man, and
Oh, yeah.
just
Oh,
enjoy
yeah.
the. I mean, he makes great cocktails. His mojito's great. Obviously, all the margaritas are fantastic. So yeah.
Shout
And
out
this is not
Andreas.
paid promotion. We
No,
just
we
love
just love
them,
those guys.
love the family, love the restaurant.
Well,
so.
I mean, people know we support local, and
Yeah,
we want to
yeah,
make
yeah,
sure
we
that
do.
local places stay in business. And honestly, they're probably one of the Mexican restaurants, at least in Madison County, that's lasted the longest.
Yeah.
So, and that's not always the case for Mexican restaurants. Sometimes they move in, don't do great, and move somewhere else.
Yep.
They've been killing it. They started in Anderson, and then moved over here. Didn't they start
yeah.
downtown?
They didn't. No, they weren't. They didn't have a restaurant there.
I thought they were downtown. At
No, that's the Riviera Maya.
no,
it's
It
downtown.
used to be Hacienda.
Is it? Well,
I
don't
thought
think
that's
that
where
was
his family
him.
moved. Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah.
It was him.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because I think he said he got here 13 years ago and opened up and said, "Let's see how this
Okay.
goes."
Okay.
I did like, however, Rob, you and I talked about this a little bit. The way that he got there, and the family support and everything, and his
Yep.
story about what he tried to create
Oh, yeah.
culture wise. Sounded a little familiar.
Yeah.
A little bit like your story here with Final Third and
Yeah.
kind of what you and Lisa have done. And
Threw out all of his retirement money and said it's going to work or it's not.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we did. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so just the same kind of culture,
It is.
same environment. And,
You walk in there and after your first time there, you're family.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's our goal here too.
I
So
would say it's the same thing.
Yeah, when
here.
it's your money that you're putting up,
yeah.
it's do or die. Like
Mm-hmm.
you approach your whole business a little bit differently,
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
I think
good.
that's what he said. Is this is all I've ever done. So it was all or nothing.
Yeah.
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 So he definitely put his heart into it.
Yeah, no, I gotta say, so for a corn forward bourbon at this proof, under 100 proof, the flavor in this thing is amazing.
It
man.
is.
Like,
I mean, it definitely-
it's mouth coating. It's
It
like,
doesn't feel proofier than what it is, but it is definitely tasting above its proof.
it packs that flavor that you kind of yearn for in higher proof. Sometimes that are lacking in under 100 proof, and man,
it
that's
tastes like a
banger.
bottled and bond to me,
Yeah,
like quality wise and proof wise.
Balance wise.
Yeah, it's that bottled and bond mark, and it's 95, right?
95.
So we're
Yep.
just a few points under
Yep.
that 100
Yep.
mark. But yeah, the Whiskey Acres guys, if you haven't had that, they're just making good whiskey.
They
Just
really
really
are.
good whiskey.
Yeah.
cool.
Cool.
Very good.
Cool.
Oh man, that was
Cool
that-
story.
I'll tell you, man, it just keeps building. The flavor on that just keeps building. I mean, there's almost like a slight cherry note in it right now.
Yeah.
Very odd. It might be the
It might be the
combination.
combination of the cigar too. It's almost like a sweet on the back of the palate in the zone.
Yeah. In the zone.
zone.
Yeah.
You
Thanks,
almost
Jackie.
get like a almost like a sweet paired with almost like a leathery back note.
Yeah.
I noticed it more on the retro. After the retro, it stood out more. That it's almost like a sweet leather kind of
You
smell.
said
It's
a
not
leather note on
overwhelming.
coming from the cigar.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, this thing builds pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like it came across real subtle and easy going at the beginning, but man,
cigar or the bourbon?
the
Yeah.
cigar. I mean, the
Cigar.
bourbon has been
It's
continually
building too.
getting in complexity, but this cigar actually kicks up a notch.
Yeah.
It
And it's
does.
doing it in the first third. I mean, usually you're waiting until the back half of the cigar before it does that.
I've had a couple people say they got hit a little bit hard with this cigar, and I haven't yet. But honestly, I don't feel strength in
No, I
cigars
haven't.
very
Yeah,
much.
I mean, it just builds with flavor. But
I
I don't
agree.
know.
Goes,
I don't
yeah,
think the strength
flavor.
really gets any crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I've smoked this one once, so I don't remember if the strength goes up at the end or not.
A little bit, but not
Little bit. Not
nuts.
aggressive.
Not
Yeah,
enough to
I've
be
had a
fun.
couple of them in the last week, and it does intensify, but it doesn't go beyond where it needs to be.
Right. Right.
Well,
Yep.
the other one you have is hotcakes, right?
The hotcakes.
So the hotcakes is
We got the
that-
hotcakes Maduro and the hotcakes Golden line, which is the Connecticut.
Okay, and then we have the Toro or the Robusto on the hotcakes?
Toro.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So Toro on both of the on both those hotcakes, and then also the Maduro. We have the little half Coronas,
Yeah,
which
the
that's
half,
a great winter cigar.
the half Coronas are amazing. Like they're only about that long.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's perfect for like you and I, like we're in the car, in and out of the car all the time, or you're in and out of your truck all the time. You can take a couple hits off that thing, and you're not, it's
Yeah.
not a lot to it. You don't have to worry about constantly relighting it and
Yeah.
things like that. It'll still
Yeah.
be lit by the time you get back because it's not that big. And
Yep.
So
pretty cool.
I was noticing that I'm smoking a lot more Toros lately.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I've always been a Robusto guy. Like that's my preferred size.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a little worried. Like I'm going to end up as one of those guys that's like, hey, you got that like 65 ring gauge. Like, is this just going to continue to be a thing where I just want a bigger and bigger cigar?
Probably
I hope-
not.
I hope not.
Probably not. I
We
mean,
busting out them Churchills before too.
well,
long.
I know, right?
well, think about it though. A Robusto is actually 2 ring gauges bigger than a Toro.
Right.
You're just
Toro's
a longer cigar.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I honestly, it's also you're coming in hanging out inside. Toro lasts for an extra half hour
Yep.
sometimes.
Yep.
It,
It does depend
it
on the
does.
cigar.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I just kind of noticed that. I smoked the
black. last night,
McAuliffe, the blue, and then the black, and I was going to get in the red, but just ran out of time.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were watching a Fuel last night, and
Yeah.
congratulations, Fuel.
Heck yeah,
Super happy. They won last night, scored 2 goals,
2 goals.
which means they are now at a 1 goal per game average.
Yeah,
Man,
That's
I'm
rough.
happy that we're there. Like, what a slow start, and that was tough, but
Yeah.
the team's coming together and looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm excited about where we're going to go. We got opening night coming up here in just a couple
Can't
weeks.
wait for that first home game.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, it's going to be a
December
blast.
6th.
Well, on Monday night we have the
Open house.
the new event center.
Yes.
Yeah,
we'll-
the promo night.
We'll have an
Which
open
congratulations to Fishers and
Yes.
opening up the event center. They just had Final Third Cigar is Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge. Come to Final Third for a selection of over 20 different Aladino cigars, including the Cameroon, a wonderful cigar with nice light flavors. Make sure and visit Final Third, the Aladino exclusive cigar lounge for Indiana. Their first event there, they had Turnpike Troubadours last
Dude, the
night.
pictures you were showing me last night, that place looked fantastic.
Yeah.
They have a perfect setup for the concerts. It looked great. There was not a bad seat in the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
Yeah, if you like a closer, intimate show,
Yeah.
right? I mean, some people just love the big, 30,000 seat or the stadium shows.
Yeah.
I'm like 8,000 is about as big as I want to go, like
Yeah.
White River.
I'm
And
a
then
Mirai guy. I like the
exactly
small venues.
getting down to the Egyptian room.
Egyptian room.
Yeah,
1,500
love that
people.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this looked like there wasn't a bad seat.
Mm-mm.
You could be, close and just have a great show.
It looked like standing room only when that last picture popped up.
Yeah, if they didn't sell out,
really?
they came really, really close.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw where it said the tickets were sold out. I just
Good.
didn't
Okay,
know if everybody
good.
showed up.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
sure there's
curious.
some
I think there
resale
was- yeah.
stuff.
I would like to hear what people thought about the acoustics in there. Obviously,
Yeah.
being a
Yeah.
brand new place. I mean, we remember what happened at Gamebridge. It
And
was-
Lucas
it was-
Oil,
or Lu-
both.
It was
Yeah, Lucas
one-
Oil.
I
Lucas.
I think it was Lucas.
It was Lucas.
It was
okay.
Lucas.
It
It was
was
really bad.
horrible. The echo and everything else, and they just didn't plan for it. Hopefully, they did in this one.
Yeah, wasn't that like a country concert, like a Tim McGraw or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, or Alabama. I don't know. Somebody
Was-
like that.
No, it was a bit. It
With
was some big
Lucas, you
show.
really need the stadium roof open. right?
Yes. Well,
So
that's
for-
the thing.
Yeah.
Lucas Oil was designed for football.
Yeah.
The event center is designed for events.
Yeah.
So it's going to be other things besides just hockey.
Right.
So I get that they probably did a good job on that, but
Yeah, if you-
we'll find out Monday because we're going to be going out there Monday to check it out. We're doing a booth there too, and we're excited to be out there and see it, see all the fans. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
yeah, and opening up the season, it's going to be a lot of home games because they've been away, and we're going to have an opportunity. We're going to be talking to some of the Fuel players, not on the podcast, but
Yeah.
we'll get some knowledge. I'm really curious, kind of how things have been going with this starting the season on the road. Like, what's that do to you? It's
gotta be
just got
brutal.
to be awful.
Brutal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're back. They played in Bloomington last night and got that win.
Mm-hmm.
And Wednesday they have to go out to Utah, and they're going to be in Utah all the way through the Thanksgiving weekend because they play was it Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
So come back either late Saturday or early Sunday morning. That's
Yeah.
rough, man.
It's kind of like
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of like when the New Orleans Saints had to move because of Hurricane Katrina. They were displaced for I think that whole
The
season.
whole season,
Yeah.
I think.
Were
Yeah.
they playing
Yeah.
in Texas or?
There was I think it was Texas,
But every
yeah.
game was
Yeah.
an away game. Like they were gone. I mean,
Yeah.
from home, it was terrible.
And then what was it? 3 years later, they beat the Colts in the Super Bowl. And
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Sometimes
Thanks,
you
Hank
just-
Basket. Can't catch a fucking onside kick, and you're too busy worried about your Playboy bunny. Sorry.
No, the Colts.
Fuck Hank
have-
Basket.
They've got problems.
Yeah.
They've got some problems. We're struggling right now in Indy with sports, man. The
Mhm.
Pacers not doing well. The Colts. I mean, this is not going to be a pretty game this weekend.
No.
No, it's Detroit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son and I are going to the game tomorrow, and he's like, "Dad, we're gonna get killed." I'm like, we'll go have a good brunch, and we'll we'll watch a good half, and we'll see what happens."
I mean, you may be going to watch the Super Bowl winners this year. I mean, those guys are solid.
Man,
And that's what I
Yeah.
told him. I said, "We'll get to see a really good team."
Yeah. Yeah.
when's the last time you said that in Detroit?
I know.
Mhm.
Man.
Barry
It's-
Sanders, maybe?
It's bizarre world these days.
I love their coach, man. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He is.
He really
is.
brought
Dan
something
Campbell
back.
is
Dan
the
Campbell's a man. Biting kneecaps. All right, go at it, baby.
Of course, IU as a coach signs 8 years, 73 million. Is that what it was?
Good on IU to get him before the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't, someone was going to offer him a lot of money.
Well, the
Yes,
best
they
story,
were.
the best story with Detroit has got to be Jared Goff, though. I mean,
Yeah.
getting thrown out with the bathwater up in LA when he had taken him to the Super Bowl, and he was just a they didn't have any expectations when Detroit got him. They thought they'd basically get rid of him in a year or two. And dude, that guy, he turned it on.
Yep.
And he's playing the best football he's ever played in his life.
Guess you just never know when you're finally going to hit stride.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm still waiting on for my abs to start hitting stride. We're getting players back slowly, but we still have about 6 of them out. We're waiting
And
for them to get back
Gorgie
in.
is finally.
Gorgie's playing some good hockey right now. So
Yep. Yeah, I know. Big knock on wood there. Big knock
speaking
on
of
wood.
speaking of goalies, man, Goudreau
For the fuel.
for the fuel, he looks awesome. Or at least last night, he looked awesome.
Yep.
And honestly, I think I bet his goals against average this season is pretty good.
It's
It's got to be under 3, sub 3.
we haven't been losing by a lot. We just
No.
haven't been able to score.
Right,
So yeah,
right.
and 2 new goalies
Yep.
this year, right? I mean, this is what happens in the ECHL. It's just the reality of, being in a
Getting moved
second
around.
tier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what happens. And Driscoll obviously retiring. Good for him.
Yeah.
Getting his family going and all
Yep.
that. And
Seamus
understand. And
retired,
Seamus
too. That was
retiring.
sad, but
Yep,
get it.
yep.
Life moves on.
It's bullshit, Seamus. We
Yeah.
told you. You were here.
You were here.
You were here. I saw a video. I think I told you guys about this. I forget which player it was. I should have looked it up. But great video from a fan got posted on TikTok or something. And guy comes into the penalty box and he was playing his former team. And the guy right next to the penalty box just starts cussing him out. You are such a fucking fake. You're a liar. You should have told us you were leaving the team. I mean, for the entire 2-minute penalty.
Yeah, he was in there.
Non-stop. Just, yeah. I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know. Hockey players are mean guys. I mean, like they can get pretty aggressive, and you got a little piece of glass between you and him.
Yeah.
I mean, he could decide he's had enough and come over the top. I mean, he's not going to jeopardize his career, but
No, he's
I
not
think-
running our test.
I think Colin said when Colin was on the podcast, he said he only got one fan only got under his skin one time, I think, and he gave him a glance, I think, but he didn't go after. him.
well, and then he knew like the entire rest of the game that guy saw him give him
Oh,
the glance.
yeah, that's what
and
he
he's
said,
like, that's
yeah.
where I screwed up because now
Yeah.
this guy's just on me like 10 times worse.
Yeah.
He saw he got under my skin, and that was it.
Well, most Indiana fans know that you don't really mess with the Indiana teams from the stands.
Right, right. Yes, that's
If anybody
a good
remembers
point.
a certain
There's
game,
been
There's
a little
there's
malice
team
in
called
the
the
palace.
Pacers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron Artest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Meta world peace.
Meta world, whatever. Yeah.
The ghost of Ron Artest will come back and haunt you.
Yeah. Oh, he's still haunting us
I
here.
wonder where the hell he's at
he is.
now.
I don't know, man. I mean, he kind of
He's
like
on.
like every now and then you still see Dennis Rodman, does something and
God,
puts
in North
himself
Korea.
back in.
Between him and Steven Jackson, man, those guys were double trouble, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were. We could use some of that right now on the Pacers, but
Yeah.
then again, the NBA game has gotten so soft.
It's just
Freaking LeBron James saying that the game is more brutal now, more aggressive,
Well, those
and more
flops hurt.
physical.
Those flops
Right,
are-
that must be. I
What
mean,
games
look,
he
I
playing?
understand acting out; it's hard. Otherwise, everybody would do it, right?
Yeah.
So, the Emmy goes to. It's just saying that I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
man, come on, go up against the Celtics in the late '70s, early '80s.
Yeah. Just go back and play against anybody in the 80s.
Yeah,
Early 80s.
anybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back and play against the Bulls. Half of them were high on cocaine anyway
Yeah.
prior to Jordan.
What?
So at least Robert at least Robert Parrish was all the time.
Right.
Oh gosh.
Yep. Yeah. That's bullshit saying that the game is rougher today.
That was a
Yeah.
rosin bag, not what you're thinking.
Rosin. I was just
I'm
all
not-
over my nose. It was terrible.
I'm not a LeBron fan anyway.
No. When he actually was denying the fact that everyone was saying he was the best player of all time, when he was denying it, I'm like, okay, this is just fans being fans, whatever.
Mhm.
But now he's starting to say it about himself. I'm like, buddy, come on, you're not even in the right era.
not
to
close.
claim to
Didn't
be
he
the
come out?
best.
Didn't he come out yesterday or day before and say he's taking a break from
Yes,
all
he's
social
off of
media?
social media.
Well, he posted on social media that he's taking a break.
taking a
from
break from
social media.
social
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
You guys are mean.
you guys are mean.
You're hurting my feelings.
Uh,
Whiny little
Now, social
bitch.
media can be brutal, but
yeah, I can.
it kind of comes with the gig, man.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, I mean, you're going to be famous. I mean, okay, you better be willing to take it.
And I'm sorry, if you're making LeBron money, somebody else should be running your social media account. Do you really have time to be sitting up at 3 a.m.
Shouldn't be.
Hell no.
tweeting? It's like, come
Right.
on.
No, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't be.
If you
Although
do,
the leader of the free world does it, so I guess everyone else should, right?
right, right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see
Oh,
how Trump handles his X account.
I really hope
this
somebody just deletes
presidency.
it. Although he does have Elon on it, going to have him on his cabinet, so Elon owns it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's not technically on the cabinet, right? Isn't this?
No, but
He's a
No,
what do they call it?
I don't remember what title they gave him.
consultant,
Kind
something like that.
of upper level consultant, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
I could see him be added to the cabinet at some point, though, just because. I mean, I don't know if it'd be a bad thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big Elon fan, but he's a hell of a businessman.
I just think it's funny that they came up with the Department of Government Efficiency, which is Doja, which is the cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doge,
yeah. I'm like, yeah. Come on, guys. You got to at least pretend that you're not in it just to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're all in it just to make money. It's for
yeah.
the greater good.
For the greater.
Scariest
We're here
words
for
ever.
you. Save the children.
I think
And
I
the
have
whales.
like 50,000 Doge coins, and they're worth about
$10,
$100.
$100.
I made some money on Doge back then.
They're worth
But,
more
but
than
the thing
that.
is, when Elon went on Saturday Night Live, it went up, and I bought it in at like 0.001 or 0.003 cents.
Yeah.
It went up to 74 cents but right before he went on, and I didn't cash out yet. And as soon as he started talking, it
went
dropped to like
plummeted.
30, 20.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, damn.
You
I
missed it.
I still made good money on it, but I didn't make the money I could have made.
I'm holding till it hits $1. When it hits $1, I'm
I
out.
don't think it's ever hit.
It'll hit $1 when I'm dead.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another one out there.
$50,000 at that point. Yeah.
There's
100 bucks
another
to
one out there
50,000. That's a
called-
good return.
One called Sheeb, I think it is. It's another one like Doge. And I saw a bunch of people talking about, after the election, it's gonna rocket. So I got 8.6 million shares for $150.
There you go.
So it's like, and it's already made me a little bit of money. But I'm like, if that thing gets up to $1, shit, I'm gonna have several $1 million in the bank.
I think
Yeah.
people are still trying to figure out what to do with crypto, right?
Yeah.
We'll get a second location for Final Third.
Yes, finally.
Well, there was one government, I can't remember who it was, that just said on the news the other day that they were
Hey, you should
actually
start
accepting
taking,
crypto as a legal currency.
Why not? Right?
But
You should start taking Dogecoin. I can burn it all up here on Cigar.
I don't know that his
One Dogecoin for every, and I'll give you free cigar and bourbon
For every Dogecoin?
for every full Dogecoin. One.
Dude, they're
Yeah,
only
it's
worth
like-
like 0.0
No,
something.
oh no, not Doge.
You
I'm
mean
sorry.
Bitcoin.
I'm thinking Bitcoin.
No.
Sorry.
I was like, this is, yeah.
Whoa, yeah.
Bitcoin.
You,
Bitcoin.
you might want to
Deal,
really,
Rob,
you might
deal.
want to check that marketplace, Rob.
sorry,
I'm just saying. man.
Bitcoin. I had that on my brain.
Yeah, you can get 1/10,000th of a Bitcoin for that. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
what's it up to? 80,000 now?
80,000,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Jeez. That's,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty high. Pretty
Yeah.
nuts.
and to
Yeah, I
think
missed
guy
that.
bought
Even
two
Gro-
large pizzas for 50 Bitcoin back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Even Gronk no Bitcoin, not real
Not
money.
real money.
But you can buy fractional Bitcoin. I mean,
Yes,
you
you
can buy
can.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
only way I've ever bought into it
Yeah.
was fractional.
Yeah. I still remember it was like, I don't know, 2012 or something. IT peer of mine's like, yeah, you heard of this cryptocurrency thing, this Bitcoin? And shit, I don't know what it cost back then. I'm sure it was pennies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Missed the boat on that one.
Well, that whole conspiracy about Unity Coin back in the day really, I think, kind of deterred a lot of people from looking at Bitcoin at all.
Yeah.
And then there was another thing that came out talking about if there was ever a massive solar flare, all that was just gone.
Right.
There's no memory backup. There's no nothing. It's all go. Your blockchain's useless if it's erased.
That's
So-
the data doesn't exist.
They
Yes.
they scared a lot of people off from the.
Now's a good time to note the Final Third podcast consists of regular guys, not financial
We
advisors.
have no clue.
Do
what
not
we're
take
talking
any
about.
advice from us on money in any way, shape, or
None.
form.
The views and
Consult
items
your
expressed on the Final Third podcast do not necessarily relate.
right.
Except for smoking cigars and drinking
Yeah.
bourbon.
That's true.
That's
you
good.
can take our word on that.
We'll do that.
We
Yes.
stick to the wheelhouse.
Let's talk about the second, third
Yeah,
of this
yeah.
Black Friday.
Yes. Yes.
I'm telling you, it's picking up quite a bit.
the baking spice note is balanced out with the cinnamon now. So the sweetness has kind of started to lever over into more of a baking spice.
Yeah.
Yes, the milk chocolate portion is pretty much gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
well, and it's kind of
front end.
reversed on the retrohale. Now it starts off really mild, and then it builds with spice in the nose.
Oh yeah, it's cinnamon on the retrohale coming out on the back end of it all day.
Yeah, right in the back of your throat too.
And the palate itself, it's one of those cigars, and maybe it's that Ometepe tobacco. I don't know. It's kind of a clean on the palate. It's coming across off the palate clean, where some of the cigars feel heavy.
There's no residual.
there is
not
nothing.
residual.
No,
I think after you get done with this, you take a sip of bourbon, you're not even going to taste the cigar anymore, which is a good thing. I like that.
Well, I wonder too if where we talked about how mouth-watering the Bloody Butcher was.
Yeah.
If it's not cleansing as you go with the cigar.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
Because it's just keeping everything
But
going.
like you said, I don't taste a lot of cigar in my mouth right now.
No.
Right, which is actually kind of nice.
It is, especially if it's one of your last night of the night.
Yes, the next morning.
No matter if you brush your teeth or not, you're going to taste a cigar in the morning sometimes.
Yes. And a lot of people, that's what they don't like.
That is,
like
you're
people
right.
that smoke very rarely. They always say, "Oh yeah, when I wake up the next morning." I think this could be one that you could smoke, and you're going to have. It's going to be pretty light.
It's not going to be as bad.
I think a lot of the Aladinos do that too. They have that lighter Honduran tobacco that doesn't come across aggressive on the palate.
That was one of the things I liked about the Cameroon.
Yes.
Yep.
Is it doesn't blast your palate to the point where it's you know that you've smoked that.
Yeah. Which it's kind of interesting because we talk about mouthfeel enough on here, right? And I always like those big, rich, creamy smokes that just completely coat your palate. But this one is not that.
No,
it's definitely not that. But that doesn't mean it's bad.
But
it's
the
really,
smoke
really
is
good.
still
It's
very, very thick and viscous. But you're right, it's not creamy.
Right.
Yeah.
There is no kind of milky stick with you element to this. It's you get your flavors, you get your finish, and then it kind of just evaporates. And that's actually a pleasing thing.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we talk about trying to experiment and get out of your comfort zone and just go out there and see what you can find.
Yeah.
And just because I talk all the time about, I love that big, rich, creamy, mouthfeel and smoke, doesn't mean that I can't enjoy this cigar.
Right.
A lot.
And a lot of that depends on what you're pairing. Obviously, a thick, creamy cigar is going to go better with coffee.
Yep.
Something like this is going to obviously go better with bourbon. I don't think I would like this with coffee.
No, I don't think I would either.
I mean, remember, actually, I don't know if it was Isaiah. I think it was Isaiah and we did a coffee pairing with a cigar, and we couldn't find a cigar that actually paired with coffee well.
Really?
I mean, because we were started out with a darker cigar.
Have you tried a Metro?
Yeah,
Have you tried the Metro? The
Metro would go
Metropolitan?
great with it. But we didn't start there.
Yeah.
So once we started, we were already in it, and it's like, this just didn't work. So
I've created a few converts out there with that Metropolitan.
I gotta try it. I've never tried it.
You still have
Antonio.
not tried
I've
it?
not tried it.
Man.
I mean, it's got a sweet tip, but it's not like aggressively sweet. It's just a
No.
light sweetness that complements the Connecticut.
Okay.
And really, after you get through the first third, most of the
gone.
sweetness is gone. Yeah, because they just dip the tip in molasses.
Okay.
So it's just like they just let it
Subtle.
air dry.
Is it
and
actually
it's-
molasses they use? Because I've never heard because I looked it up trying to find it, and I can't find anything where it says what it's.
That's
dipped
what
in.
I had been told.
Okay.
And
It could be.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of have that molasses sweet flavor to it. It's
Yeah.
not cloyingly sweet. It's just kind
I
of
was just
rich.
curious
and-
because molasses can be a little bit sticky.
right. And yeah,
So-
I don't know if they water it down or
They'd have to,
so
spread it
it's-
out.
Yeah. But that's what I've been told.
Well,
is-
and that's the thing too is like a lot of people think that the Sober Mesa Brulee from Dunbarton Tobacco, they think it's a sweet tip, and Steve Saka claims there is no sweet tip to it, but I think people have figured it out. I think what he's doing is he's actually sweetening the undercap and then capping over it, so you get a subtle sweetness, but you're not on your lips.
right.
So, I mean, it could be something like that where they're still overcapping it to keep the stickiness away, but you're still getting the flavor. I don't
Could
know.
you use molasses as a glue for the cap?
Probably could.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I would think so.
Why
I mean,
not?
it's just fruit pectins, what they're using.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, you should. Yeah.
If you've ever
Wow.
spilled
See
it,
what I
you
can
know
work.
that it's really good at sticking
Very
things.
sticky.
Right. Right. No shit.
Yeah.
Another thing we don't hit on too much is construction.
Mm-hmm.
True.
I know. Did everybody deep V cut this?
No, I just straight cut.
I straight cut.
Heavy.
Okay, we both V'd it, and it's
Holding up. Yeah.
holding
Yeah,
up.
it's got a huge cap
And
on
I was looking at everybody's, the burn is almost straight across on every single one of these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't had a
Yeah.
single relight issue, nothing.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
really, really well constructed.
It is.
You know, I'm finding more and more that the vast majority of cigars, and maybe it's just because I pretty much only buy here. I buy from Larry every now and then over at Maduro.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm
Shout out to
visiting.
Larry.
Shout out to Larry.
Yep.
Visiting shops when I'm on the road.
Yep.
But I know I'm only buying premium cigars, and
Right.
you know, I don't see too many construction issues anymore.
Occasionally, and you had this yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah, no,
The knuckle sandwich Maduro. He had the cap kind of came off on him.
Oh,
that's right.
as soon as
But-
I cut it, the cap came off, but it
Yep.
still stayed together without
But that's
the
the
cap
thing.
on.
Yeah,
That's what's
yeah.
nice about having a triple cap. You know, if the top cap comes off, you still got 2 caps below it to hold it together.
I only find construction issues typically with Connecticut's
Yeah.
that have very, very thin wrappers.
Yeah.
Thin wrapper, you just got to be, you have to be thoughtful when you're handling it, because if you nick it, or especially if you're in the car and you're driving and you've got the windows down and the wind's blowing and you're doing things, you hit that thing, the wrapper can just come
Split.
off on you in
yeah,
a second.
yeah.
And then-
Well,
Padrones, man,
I feel-
Padrones. I got to remember, cut them thin,
Super
like,
thin
really
cut,
thin.
yeah.
And you don't. They're going to open up. You're
Yeah.
fine. You're not going to trap the smoke in or anything like that. You're not going to have
Right.
tar issues.
Yeah.
You have to cut those that way. Olivas, I cut them deeper.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
always cut Olivas deeper.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've found that all of them, if I cut them like I would cut a Padron, I get draw issues.
Yeah.
And I have to go back and do a deeper cut. And they're triple capped. They're a big, thick cap on them. So
Yep.
you
Yeah.
got plenty of room. You can cut some off and you're good.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the Espinosa, the Crema. I love that cigar, but in the car, when you try to take the band off
Oh
and
yeah.
you're driving,
Yeah.
I usually half the time end up damaging the wrapper. Getting because damn it, Espinosa, you glue your freaking wrappers on. Crazy. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I try to be careful, but that's a cigar I love with coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
So if I'm in the car in the morning heading on a long trip, that's my go-to a lot of times.
And we were talking about that last night. We're gonna do probably a crema episode just because we haven't really done a lot of milder cigars.
Was that what we were talking about doing on our show on Black Friday?
I think so. We're gonna do that.
Which,
with
by the way, the Black Friday event, we forgot to mention, we're also going to be recording the podcast
during the event,
during the event.
probably around 1 o'clock, we'll start.
Yeah, I think that's what we were talking about,
Yep,
1
yep.
o'clock. So if you can make it.
I'm going to try. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should be able to.
So, but we're gonna set up an extra mic. Hopefully, unless we have too many people, and if you're here and you want to come and say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself, come on.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a little bit of get to know people around the shop,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Maybe get to know some of the regulars. Like, the goal hopefully is a bunch of people are coming in and hanging out on Friday. So, drop in for 2 or 3 minutes on the podcast and
Yeah.
tell us your story and tell us about, why you love the Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Lounge.
Yeah, you will not meet a stranger in here.
No.
That's
No.
for sure. So
No.
if you've never been in here, I highly encourage. It's a fun time. You'll get to know a lot of different people from
Yeah.
a lot of different walks of life, and everyone's I've met in here. It's been just a pleasure
agree.
to meet and have conversations. with.
Always,
So,
always.
And by the way,
Oh,
the band
came
just
off
comes right off.
perfect. Nice. I need some whiskey. Are we going to keep drinking
Oh,
this
yeah.
Bloody Butcher?
Or
You
we
got
wanna
quite a
We
do
got
bit.
another one.
Elijah Craig.
Let's
What do
go
you
to
want?
another one. We can finish off with this because
Okay.
we won't talk about the last one until we get to
Okay.
it.
Oh my
That's fine.
goodness, yes. All right. Well, you brought this, right?
Yeah. So this is the third release of the year for Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This is C924, clocking in right at, correct me if I'm wrong, 129 proof.
On the nose.
All right. So,
I've heard some good things about this one.
yeah, this isn't my first tasting of this, so I'll
And for
keep
those that
quiet and let you guys talk about what you're tasting. So
those that need a refresher, the Larceny and Elijah Craig, 3 releases out of the Barrel Proof every year.
Mm-hmm.
They have A, B, and C,
Yep.
and it always has the month and the year.
A is usually January.
Yep.
B is May.
May.
And then C is September.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So you see 1/24, 5/24, and 9/24.
Yep. Yep.
Is it 1/24? Is that right?
1/24. Yep.
Okay.
24.
Yeah. So you'll see like A 1/24, B 5/24, C 9/24.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're
And-
all different. Like every single time, it'd be cool because they've been doing this now for a couple years.
Yeah,
And
wasn't it the B that we or the
the B523, was that the one that everybody went
I think,
bonkers
yeah,
over
that's-
last
everyone
year?
went
And then
nuts
there was
over it.
thoughts
No,
about
that was
bonkers over
923.
oh,
C923.
C924. Yeah,
924.
that we thought was way over oaked, but then we found
The
out there
one we
might have
got-
been two different kind of.
There were.
They said that it was all one, but it kind of tasted like there might be
Well,
two
we
different
figured
batches.
out the laser codes were different from this region to south.
I was just
Well,
say who
just
had
to-
it down
so
south.
put
and
in
they said it was totally
perspective,
different.
Most of us, at least on this podcast, felt that C923 was over oaked. And I still hold to that from the ones I tasted here in Indiana. That being said, it won Bourbon of the Year on Breaking Bourbon, and it was in the top 5 of Fred Minnick's top 100 last year. So it did really well in tastings last year.
Now we'll never hear the true story behind it, but it'd be really interesting to find out it because all those media guys get their free bottle sent to them to review, which they should. Wonder if Heaven Hill knew this one's the better of the two batches. We're sending all of these to these guys to get the word out. I mean, it would make sense on their part marketing wise
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a 11-year age statement,
Mm.
and the color on it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's got that Elijah Craig nose, man.
Mhm.
Now, I don't have this one on the bar right now. We still have a few bottles left of our barrel pick.
Which don't sleep on the barrel pick.
Oh, that barrel pick's
It's
delicious.
amazing.
It's fantastic.
No, not at all. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of this in Indiana yet.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's been this bottle I picked up in North Carolina last week, but it'll be in Indiana if not this week, probably by the end of November for sure. You'll
This
start
one
seeing
is hot caramel maple syrup to me.
Is it real drying to anybody else?
It's a little more drying
Yeah.
than the Bloody Butcher. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it really dried out my
Could be
palate.
part of the palate, or it could be part of the proof too. We're going up over 30 points.
Yeah, it
It's
could
so-
just be a little
It's
ethanol.
almost
so
40.
spicy on the finish.
That one's 95.
Yeah, that was 139 though. wasn't it?
129.
29.
Yeah.
sorry.
29. Yeah, the spice that you get on the finish on this is just
It's
classic.
beautiful.
Elijah Craig
It
barrel
is,
proof
it
is
is.
so good. Yeah, I think it's a solid.
I think if you're not a high proof guy, you can still enjoy this. It still has the
It doesn't
sweetness.
taste 129. It
But I
really
also
doesn't.
think this would
No,
hold up fine to a
doesn't.
cube. This would be fine with a cube.
Yeah,
I mean,
it would
it'd
hold
be
up.
fine. It would hold
Well,
up
that
to a
would
cube
that
pretty
would
well.
proof down just a little bit.
Mm.
I really like the nose on it.
Yeah,
I
This
always like the Elijah Craig
is
noses.
it's caramel, definitely caramel.
Caramel, yeah.
It's
I just
almost
get
a
that
hint of
kinda-
citrus on the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Little
you're
hint.
right.
I
Yeah,
can
but
pick
that-
it up on the nose
especially
a
when
little
you
bit.
breathe
on the
in with
nose.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Now, I will say, I don't think I'm as big a fan of this one with this cigar.
Hmm.
I think because of the way that this cigar kind of doesn't have the coating element, I feel like it may get overrun just a little bit.
Yeah, it did kind of knock down the retrohale a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a powerhouse compared to I think a proof standpoint, obviously,
Yes.
than the C9 or than the Bloody Butcher. But
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's you might need a little bit stronger cigar to hang with this one, but I
Yeah,
think it's solid. You know,
It is very good.
Well, we got knuckle sandwich Maduros for our second cigar.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that'll work. Yeah, I will say I think we scored on the pairing because this is the
Oh,
pairing
yeah.
of the month with the Bloody Butcher and the Black Friday cigar.
Yeah,
You come in on Black Friday, this is what you should be having first.
for sure.
Absolutely.
oh,
yeah.
definitely, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and again, the pairing of the month always 10% off.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's always a bonus.
yeah. Well, and like I said, these Black Fridays are once they're gone, they're gone. We won't be able to get them again. I'm assuming they're already out of stock of them. But if you ever see them out in your local shop, if you're not around here, just get some.
Pick some up, man.
I mean, now it's hard to buy a box of these. They're 50 count boxes,
Oh,
so you're talking
Wow.
$500-600 for a box.
yeah.
So it's a little harder to buy a box, but if you get one, you do get a box of, you're gonna love it. I mean,
The Black Fridays are 500 or 50 count.
50 count, yeah.
Wow.
Ouch.
That's why I didn't buy a bunch of extra boxes because I'm like, we're not gonna be selling boxes of those. People will grab a handful and that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, you get them on Black Friday, right? That's just come out here and
Yeah.
sit and hang out.
Yeah.
So a couple of things too with Heaven Hill and their barrel pick program. They are starting to see some of these Elijah Craig toasted barrel, single barrel picks rolling out, which
You
I
ever
think is
see
pretty
one?
cool.
Pick me one up. I want to try.
I
it.
haven't seen the ones that I've been seeing have been coming out of Michigan right now. So
Okay.
I haven't seen any local retailer have a pick yet.
I haven't heard of anybody in Indiana getting one yet.
Nor have I. Yeah.
Because I tried to get one and they still have not responded. So we may not get one. Obviously, somebody like Ray would probably be first up
I
to
would
get
think
it.
Ray or I
or
think
Gaze might get
Market
one.
District might be one that would get one.
Actually, I
somebody
think I
like
heard
that.
someone say
Yeah.
that they did get one.
Yeah.
Or that they picked one.
That seems like the type of pick that they do well with.
Yeah.
For their customers.
Well, I mean, in our region, Market District might do more picks than anybody.
They may.
Pretty close, because I mean, you go into the store and there's probably 30, 40 barrel picks out there at all times. So they do a really good job. At least that's the way it was last time I was there. It's been close to a year ago, but
So I have a question. Obviously, this is going to air the Monday before Thanksgiving.
yep.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes, that is when it is.
What are you guys drinking on Thanksgiving? Do you have a bourbon, a special bourbon you're going to pull out and drink?
You know,
or-
honestly, I'm sure I will be drinking a little bit of bourbon, but that's typically like a wine day
Wine
for
day
me.
for
and,
you? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of eating, right? I mean, you got your big meal and you snack ahead of time, right?
nice
Some of those are
cab.
veggie.
Yep.
Yeah, wine.
I-
Now we will
Yeah.
be smoking, right? As long as it's not brutally cold.
Yeah.
We've
gonna
got
be
that
cold.
covered.
Oh, right. We're putting up walls. Yep. Will and
Okay.
Liesl are coming over, and Mike
Oh,
and
good.
Jen will be over, and we're putting up some I don't know, plastic or whatever tarps or something. To,
I'm sure you probably have a heater. Just if you cut
Yep.
the
Yeah,
wind
I
down with
do.
the heater, you'd be fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got one of those. That's the big.
Big thing is, I
dome.
think there's a chance of rain, and hopefully, if it's not sideways rain, it'll be fine. You can sit out on your patio and not worry about it.
I think we should be okay because we're talking about covering things up. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we almost talked about just Mike bringing his tent, putting the wall.
Thank you to sponsor Deadwood Live. Derek with Deadwood Live is producing top quality live edge products as well as bourbon themed furniture. If you've been in the lounge, you've seen the custom live edge table and barrel stools produced by Derek. Be sure to give him a like and follow on Facebook at Deadwood Live. That's DED Wood Live.
walls on it.
Yeah,
And then
and
put
doing
the
that.
heaters
I
inside.
think we're going to take it around my porch and include that tent so that we can do the fried turkey.
Oh, there you go.
If you do fry a turkey, please watch videos.
Yes.
Watch videos on how to do it right, and then watch videos on how people do it wrong.
Yeah.
So that you pay attention to the ones on how
There
they do
can
it
be
right.
no
Thaw
ice
and-
in your bird.
No.
Zero.
Thaw
Yeah.
and dry the turkey.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
funniest videos
Flame
on the
off.
internet are the guys that sit out there and they drop a frozen turkey right
my
into the
God.
back.
Oh, man.
It's a
It's
bomb.
a bomb.
It is. It is.
Fucking bomb.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're right though. Any kind of that
Even
frozen
a
moisture,
little
you're
hunk of
done.
ice. Is
Yeah.
bad.
However, I will say, if you do screw up and put a frozen turkey in oil, please do comment. Let us know how
Yes.
that went for you.
And make
Please
sure
share the
Hear your
video.
story.
Yes, make sure you're
Send
taking
us pictures
video
from
of
the
that.
hospital.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
Us and your insurance company would love a copy of that video.
Show us on your burns who hurt you.
Touch
So-
the part of the turkey that hurts you.
So we're switching Thanksgiving up this year. Normally we have our Thanksgiving dinner around that 1 o'clock time, but we're pushing it back this year to like 4:30.
Yeah.
So I usually get on it pretty early and pull out a nice bourbon to start when I start getting the smoker set up, and I'll fire up a good cigar. Probably it'd be a knuckle sandwich, and I'll go with a Booker's. But this year, I think what I'm going to do is I've already got in my head Drew Black's Circle City pick at Roll In the
Yeah,
9-year
the-
wild turkey.
yeah.
I'm gonna,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go with that, and
That's almost gone
Which-
because we had UFC pay-per-view at my house and everybody drank out of
Yeah.
that. So I've
Which
got a
we
third
have,
of a
we have
bottle
Drew
left.
coming up here
Drew's
next
gonna
Sunday.
be the yeah
We're recording on December 1st, right? Yeah.
correct yeah.
Okay.
So, Drew
So
on.
that one will be coming out the second week of December.
I'll bring that bottle in. I think I'll have some left. So
Drew's got he's been able to acquire some incredible barrels.
oh man, he's crushing.
He's doing
it
a
right
great
now.
job. That Heaven Hill barrel that we've got up on the bar here is some of the best Heaven Hill juice you're going to try because it's special. Wild
Yeah.
turkey one, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ray picked 2 barrels, and they're both good. They're both different. One's got a little bit higher spice profile than the other one, but they're both solid. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Great bottles.
So I'll do that. But to your point with wine, we definitely go with wine when we're eating, and I'll shut the bourbon down at that point. My wife, she has a membership at Cooper's Hawk, right?
Yeah.
So you get a wine every month. Well, she never goes in and picks them up. She went in, we had like 18 bottles of wine. So she brought home like a case and a half of wine for that. And plus we have 2 Magnums already from Cooper's Hawk. So
Are you both wine people?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know a lot
She
about
doesn't.
wine?
She's not really big into the reds.
Okay.
She's more white. I'll drink both, but I prefer reds.
Yep.
Same here.
That's me. But yeah.
I need to talk to, because I want to learn more about it, because a lot of the regular wines that are released have sulfites in them that give me massive headaches.
Yeah.
But a lot of the Italian wines don't have that.
And the French wines. Some of
And
the French wines.
maybe
yeah.
it's French.
Yeah.
I need to find a couple of those to try, because I know that it won't bother me as much, and I love Cabernet. I just love
Well, you
it.
can tell usually because some of them will be a little bit funky. Like
Yeah.
just a little bit of funk. Like
Well, the sulfites are there for preservative,
yeah.
right?
And if you get a little bit of that funk, it can't be too much, right? But
Yeah.
if you get a little bit, hey, it's pretty clean wine, honestly.
Well, and
Yeah.
it makes me wonder if it's with them not adding the sulfites, if there's a quicker process of having to be drank. And
Oh,
maybe-
absolutely. Yeah,
so
you're
not going to
can't-
be sitting in your cellar
you
for
can't.
30 years.
You can't, and
Yeah,
once you open it, you got to drink it.
yeah.
You can't.
So I need to find some good ones down there. I thought about going down here. That's another one that would be fun for us to go down and do a podcast with them down here at the Wine Garage in Fortville.
Yeah.
They have a great selection of wines you don't see anywhere. And that'd be a fun one to go down there and have them, we can do a flight of wines and then maybe pick a bottle to drink and promote them. But I'd like to learn more about the wine process. We used to go to a lot of wineries, which again, that's a fun thing. It's just like going to distilleries. It's a blast to learn the process and hear their story and try wines. It's a lot of fun. But I want to learn more.
Yeah,
So I'll have to have you
definitely.
guys educate me.
Yep. I know we're gonna have a good Thanksgiving, that's for sure. Lots of friends coming over, and I don't know. I'll have to think about that on the bourbon side.
So you're going to fry your turkey, or you're going to brine it?
both.
Both.
We're gonna fry one and roast
And roast
one.
one. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't brine mine. I always buy them where it's the frozen that's already been injected.
Okay.
By the way, most turkeys that you see, unless you got to find ones that are
You
not
got to go to
previously
you got to go to
injected.
a meat market to
Yep.
get a unbrined one these
Yep.
days. You can't get them from the grocery store like that, but I do. I go get mine from Kincaid's. I just like the brine that I use. I know
Yep.
it works. It's like I stick to it. I don't want to screw it up. But now you see all these social media things. So I saw this one guy doing what I thought was really cool when they were roasting a turkey. He took cheesecloth. I don't know if you've ever seen this technique, but he took cheesecloth and he really wrapped it around the breast tight. And then before he did that, though, he dunks the cheesecloth in melted butter and seasonings or herbs, and then stretches it out. He roasts it with the cheesecloth on, and then just peels the cheesecloth off when it's done. The color on that bird, man.
Oh,
it's
wow.
freaking beautiful.
So I've been making one same way for the last few years, and they just come out really, really good. I get an orange, big, really big orange, cut it in half. One half goes all the way in to the back, and then I stuff it with basically seasoned mirepoix, right, which is carrot, celery, and onion,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right, and then orange to close it up. So the whole cavity is packed as tight as I possibly can with all that, herbs and all that mirepoix ingredients, and then those oranges, they just bring out a really great citrus note in the meat.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for years, and it's just every time I'm like, damn it, this is
Solid.
really, really good.
Why don't I do this more? Why
Right,
don't I
yeah.
eat this once a year?
Yeah.
Have you seen the trend of turkey breasts, where they half an orange and slide
And
it
slide it under
each
to make it a-
breast,
Yeah.
and then when you cook it,
Yep. Turkey breasts.
Seek up turkey.
Yeah.
Breastises. Yes.
Yeah. That's kind of like, Bugs Bunny dresses up like a girl. Is it weird that turns me on?
little.
A
You
little.
watch Space Jam, you don't need to worry about bugs.
Exactly.
There you go.
Is that Lola? Is that what her name was?
Yeah, I think that was her
Lola.
name.
Yeah. So
I got a buddy that has her tattoo, and it's funny.
that's great.
He was always attracted to Lola.
Titty bunny instead of titty dragon.
Kind of.
Titty bunny.
So this week, we actually had one of our biggest snows we've had in about 12 years.
Right?
Seemed like it.
That was
I think we
weird.
had like 3 or 4 inches of snow. It didn't
Yeah.
really stick. It's already gone.
Nope, not in Middletown.
Oh, you still got it?
My roof's still covered, and the insurance
Okay.
adjuster had to cancel on me because there's still snow all over my roof.
Oh,
They
wow.
won't come out.
But it was kind of, it was kind of surprising. Obviously, nothing stuck to the roads. We're still been too warm and all that stuff. But it's kind of nice to have a little snow. It's not bad.
Could get more Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's gonna be warmer though, where it's gonna be
Well,
rain.
I think
You
the
never
high's
know.
only
We'll see.
38 or something.
Oh, is it
like that.
38 now? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So-
and we didn't think we were going to get 4 inches of snow either. It's supposed to be
No.
like maybe an inch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 inches later.
Yeah.
But
We
it's
all know
winter.
Mike's out there going 2 feet.
Yeah.
But it was perfect because it didn't cover any of the roads.
Yeah,
No,
That's
none
the-
of the
roads.
that's-
was
that
nice.
kind of snow I love.
You got the
Yeah.
aesthetic,
So-
but nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really like snow much
I-
anymore. I'm
I
pretty much
don't
done with
either.
it. I mean, I'm wearing shorts and sandals today.
I'll be honest with you, man. The only reason I'm excited about the cold weather coming is to get people packed in here because, when it's warm out and we've had such a long, extended, beautiful fall this year
Yeah.
that everyone's saying,
back.
I don't know how much longer we're going to have. Well, that's been going on for 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like
it
people
has.
grab a cigar and go home. Now they're coming in and hanging out. We're getting to see people we hadn't seen for a while and hanging out again. So it's been a lot of fun to see regulars come back again.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and some final third news. Rob's still working on getting panels for the patio. He's acquired some heaters and stuff. So
Well, those heaters are just temporary until we get the panels up. And then my nephew's going to help us actually install some gas powered heaters. So
Yeah,
we have those
so-
out there.
so
The
it's in the
process
works
is-
for some outdoor.
Man, I
you know.
started this process in late July thinking, man, we got a head start on this. I'm still waiting on some answers on a couple of things. It's like, God dang it.
That's how it
But
works.
he is working on it. So.
Yes, yeah. So we'll be able to sit outside and watch the snow fall.
Yep.
Yeah. Should be fun.
So this is I guess this technically would be our Thanksgiving show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So what are we thankful for this year?
You start.
Well, obviously, we had a great trip to Orange Beach
Yeah.
doing this podcast. I mean, we started this in February of this year, right?
What?
Like us being on this podcast.
Oh, all of us? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this has been truly a pleasure, right? Not that anything's going to change. We're keeping on, right?
Yeah.
But this is so much fun.
This has been fun.
And it's kind of funny. My youngest daughter got married and moved out, so now it's just Janelle and I at the house, and falling into a friend group like you guys been a true blessing. It really has.
Absolutely.
I'm absolutely thankful for this, and that people actually tune in and listen to this show. I mean, we're just a bunch of clowns here smoking and drinking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so just really appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I mean, this has been a great project for us to start this business. And, our goal when we opened this business up was to create a space where people can come and hang out and meet each other and build relationships and friendships and enjoy a cigar to drink. That I always tell people all the time, the cigar and the drink is just an avenue to create community. And if that's the mindset, then people actually come in here. I mean, hell, we just met Jimmy. Jimmy's a new guy coming in here. He
Shout out
comes
to
in and
Jimmy.
sits in his corner over here, and all of a sudden we're great friends with Jimmy now. It's like, people show up here and we just want to engage. And I agree with you. I think the friendships and the relationships that have been built around here has been really great. And I'm very, very excited about that.
Well, even bringing up the Orange Beach thing again. I mean, we haven't known each other that long.
No.
No. Year maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we all took a giant trip together to Orange Beach for an entire week.
Which is a recipe for disaster in
Yeah,
a lot of
normally.
cases.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we even drove. You guys carpooled back
Yep.
and everything, and it didn't do anything but bring us even closer together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just amazing. And I don't think there's a single person that comes in here on the regular that we couldn't bring along or tag along on a trip or go hang out with the evening.
Yeah.
Even if it's hacienda or a winery or a brewery or a distillery, and not have a good time.
I agree.
Completely
Yeah.
agree.
And I mean, it all bodes back to the atmosphere and, the culture that Rob and then Lisa has set up here for everybody to enjoy. But it's just been amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds, man.
Yep.
Well,
I mean, Well, you guys have said it, most of what I was going to say. I mean, definitely I'm super thankful for all the friendships that, I've formed and have had here, at Final Third, and all the people I met. I'm super thankful for my kids. My kids are just, they're doing everything I could expect them to do in life right now. And I'm just super proud of them and thankful that they're all on the right path.
Yeah.
And they're all doing good. And, I'd be an idiot if I wasn't to say I was thankful for my wife. I mean, she is
Sure.
the backbone of our family and the backbone of our house. And
Yeah.
she just, when I'm down, she's always there to be my backbone and be my support. And she's always there, unwavering. And I couldn't ask for, anything more in life than that. So definitely
that's
thankful
definitely
for
been
that.
fun for Lisa and I to do this together. I mean, it's stressful too, because obviously operating a business that's only been around for 2.5 years, still stressful as hell, but it's fun doing something that's succeeding with her. That's a lot of fun to be able to do that. And, I'm with you. I'm very thankful for her being a part of this, because honestly, if she wasn't a part of this, I wouldn't be doing this, because some of the stuff that she does with the bookkeeping and the taxes and all the behind the scenes stuff and the computer stuff that she does, I could probably learn to do it, but I don't have enough time with what I'm doing now, let alone trying to add all that. And
That'll
that's
cut
a
into your
full-time
smoking and
job.
drinking time.
No doubt.
Man,
Sucks.
that's work.
So definitely a
work.
shout out to all the spouses.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
And the future spouses.
He's
Don't get crazy there, Rob.
Speaking of Lisa, by the way, it was her birthday this week.
It
Yes.
was. She
Yeah.
had a good birthday week this week.
Yeah, you guys went to
Went to
Bongies.
Bongies,
That's always
man.
great.
Okay, so anyone that doesn't know about Bongies and you live in Indiana, you're missing out.
You are.
Perkinsville, Indiana.
It is
So
a tradition.
if you've ever been to any of the Fox Gardens, which I think he's got 4 locations,
I don't know.
three locations. He's got Fox Garden in Fortville. He's got Fox Garden Family Kitchen over off of Oleo Road
And Fishers.
at Fishers. And then he's got Smokies up
Smokies
in
concession stand.
Lapel.
Yep.
Those are all Fox Garden businesses. He designed his business around Bongies in Perkinsville, Indiana.
The only
You
thing
have
in
to look it
Perkinsville,
up.
Indiana.
It's
Yes.
about 40 minutes north of here. It's just straight north of Lapel off of
Yeah.
13. It's an old tavern. You look at it and you're like, this is just a beat up old biker bar. But when you go in, it's high end food. It's not crazy priced, honestly.
It really isn't.
You're going to
No.
be paying probably half of what you'd pay going to 1933 or St. Elmo's.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not a knock on them. They're great too. But he designed it around that. Well, he ended up buying it when they put it up for sale, buying Bongies, which made perfect sense. And he's crushing it up there. But if you've not been up there, now get reservations. You're not going to get in there just by driving up there and going. Get
That is
reservations.
a change from how they used to do
Yeah.
things, right?
Yes, to a degree.
To an extent,
Yeah.
yeah.
It used to be,
No
you literally go out
reservations,
there and you used to go out there, and even if you had reservations, people show up 2 hours, 3 hours early, and they
Sit in the
tailgate,
parking lot. Yeah.
play cards, drink, and wait for your meal. Or
And
your
you can
table
still
to be ready.
tailgate there.
Oh, you can,
Yeah.
yeah. And when we were there Tuesday. There were a ton of people sitting out by the fire outside waiting to go inside to eat. I'm like, that's really cool. They're still doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking now, you probably won't be able to get in until January. If you're looking at
Unless
a
you're
weekend.
doing it during the week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can
yeah.
get like we got a reservation, which we usually eat earlier. Because we don't eat a lot of lunches, so we eat at 5 o'clock for dinner, lunch, whatever. We got a reservation easily.
Yeah,
But on the weekends you're not going to get
they're
one.
booked.
they're booked
I'm
out a
sure.
couple months
All the way
yeah.
through
You can
the
check,
new year.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And actually when we were up there, we saw several of our regulars up there that were up there eating too.
Oh,
So we got
nice.
to see them. That was kind of fun too.
yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, then she.
But then she got a pretty special present.
she sure
She-
did.
She got a pretty special.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about that.
Shout out to Mike. He's the one that he's the one that made it. I think Jen came up with the idea.
Yeah.
So if you've been in here, you met Tam. That's my sister. She works here as well. She actually where was I going with that?
the books.
God.
She bought
She
the
bought
books.
the books.
Yeah. So, thank you. God, my brain. She bought these 2 books, and they're kind of goofy books for us for Christmas. One of them is How to Tell Your Employees They're Stupid Without Telling Them They're Stupid.
HR approved.
HR approved, with then Lisa put not HR approved on it. And then the other one is, Learn a Lot While You Sit on the Pot.
Yeah.
And they're just goofy books in there. Well, what we did was
In the bathroom.
In the bathroom. So everyone sat on the toilet reading the book and took a selfie, and they made a calendar out of it.
Yeah.
And it's funny as hell.
It is absolutely hilarious.
I've had about 8 people tell me, he's like, "Are you selling those?"
Yeah.
I was like, "You really want to buy that?"
They want to buy a calendar of people sitting on the
On the
shitter
toilet,
reading
yeah.
So
reading the book.
the best one is Trey Mac.
Oh,
Trey
yeah.
Mac looks like he's really trying to push something out.
honestly, my favorite's having Husto actually
Husto.
show up and do it.
Husto.
That was
That's a
so
classic,
great.
yeah.
That was great. But everybody who did it was great. It turned out really funny.
Yeah,
So-
Trebek's kind of got that. I'm pushing. Is an alien gonna get me while I'm on the pot?
Well,
Yeah.
Jen told me when we were doing the podcast a couple of weeks ago, she's like, before you leave, go in the bathroom and take this picture. And I totally forgot.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think we
Lisa
drank a
showed
We
bunch
me
drank a
of
lot
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you
God,
both
man.
we both
got
missed out on
on
it.
it.
Totally
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah.
Well, I've already been requested that we have to do these yearly now, and next time we have to actually order some to sell. So I thought about this might be fun, but we got to remember to do it, because that's my problem is remembering to take pictures during events, but take pictures throughout the year at events and different things of customers and people hanging out or whatever, and then doing a calendar of all of our people.
Oh, I think that'd be great.
I think
that's a
that'd be
great
great.
idea.
So I think
Yeah.
2025 we're going to try to do that and all year long, and then have one come out for
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
I just got to remember, and people need to remind me because I don't remember stuff very well.
You got any besides Black Friday? Any other events coming up going into Christmas?
I don't think so.
It's going to get busy anyway.
It's going to
gonna
get
be plenty
busy.
yeah.
I mean, we'll do some stuff for the holidays on deals and specials and stuff. I don't think there's any new cigars coming out anymore the rest of the year. PCA being in April, a lot of them are waiting to release stuff in April.
Which
so
our
probably
goal is
not-
to all be down there.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, are
Um,
you going to be able to?
I'm going to try. I got to juggle that because I do think I want to try to get to the New Orleans Bourbon Festival this year.
I
think it was right.
It's a
week
little
prior.
bit earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a week and a half
I got
prior.
to think about that. I can't do both. I
was
need to do
kind of
one or the
hoping it
other.
was going to be like literally the weekend before, because I was
Yeah.
going to say we
I
could
thought
just
it
do the whole
was.
thing. It's not. It's
Isn't
the
this-
weekend
weekend
before
before.
weekend. Yeah.
New Orleans Bourbon Festival. It's not so big.
Yeah.
Like it's not like Kentucky Bourbon Festival. It's much smaller scale, and I like that because it's just easier to get through the event and get to tastings and talk to the distillers and to talk to the blenders and the reps. It's just a good.
And
Less
you're in New-
hectic. You can actually have
little more intimate,
conversations.
yeah.
And you're in New Orleans in early spring.
yeah. Oh, darn.
And it's a lot of education
Yeah.
there. They do a lot of educational symposiums.
Oh, do they?
all
Okay.
throughout the weekend, and they're
That's
great.
where you were really getting into some of the Louisiana whiskeys down
Louisiana
there last
stuff.
year.
I mean, that's
yeah.
where I met Wendy at Penelope.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
got her to come up here and do the tastings when they just were starting to release the toasted rye and all those great things. And I think that's when Penelope really hit Indiana.
Yeah.
Was that whole time because it was crazy. That's when Penelope was bought out by MGP or Luxco or whoever it is, and it was just a crazy time. But
Yeah.
got to meet them, and just you meet so many different people there. Brett Bauer, who's no longer with Sagamore Spirits, but Brett came in and did the tasting with Sagamore here at the time. Met Brett through there. She met a lot of cool people in the industry.
That was a good tasting.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was a good one.
It was. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think we have a lot. We had Kentucky Owl coming, but then found out the day that they were supposed to be here, they had corporate meetings that they were doing some restructuring, which a lot of that's the pricing. They're trying to bring that pricing down. We're going to be having them come out during our 3-year anniversary week and doing a good tasting of Kentucky Owl. So that'll be a good time to try some really good, and their stuff's really good. I mean, we tried that one from, or did we actually try the Kentucky Owl over with Antonio? No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
No, we did not.
No, we didn't, because we'd tried them all
We'd
here.
already had them.
Yeah. So that'll be a
He
good
did
event
bring them
coming up.
out.
Yeah,
I mean,
he does
along
have
with all
them.
30 some odd
He
bottles.
brought
of
every
bourbon.
bottle on the freaking bar out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't see that, you got to go back and watch it. He literally just kept bringing. We had to finally tell him, "Stop, no more, no more," and we
Yeah.
still didn't drink them all.
That was honestly one of like 3 or 4 episodes that I put. We should do that at the end of the year. We should go back and just kind of everybody go back and look through our list of podcasts that we did, and let's pick like our top 3 episodes.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
Yeah, for
something
our
else I
end-of-year
want
show.
you guys to start thinking about too, and Mike as well. If you're when you actually edit this, we need to start thinking about cigars of the year and whiskeys of the year.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Start thinking
do.
about that because we really probably ought to talk about that first to middle of December, because once we get into the holidays, it gets a little bit busy and not everyone's going to be here.
I think we should all bring a couple in and do a tasting
That'd be good.
just to pick on the podcast what we think's the best whiskeys that we all each individually selected if we've got it available.
Yeah,
I think we should probably pick 2 whiskeys of the year, so to speak. One that's just whatever we've had
Yeah,
as we've tried different, bourbons.
Yeah.
I think we should all pick what we think is our favorite from the back bar.
yeah,
That final
yeah.
third.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Yeah, because I think we've all tried everything
pretty much everything
that's
up there.
that's up there. So
That's another thing too. I'll tell anybody that's out there, if you not get in here, I don't know how long it's going to last. That new Parker's Heritage is delicious,
yes,
and we got them in here. We got a few bottles of it, so
that's
get in here and
the
try
high
it.
malt, right?
Yeah, it's a
It's a single malt. Yeah.
single malt
Single
whiskey, aged in cognac barrels, 14-year-old, and it's
If you're a cognac fan, you're gonna like it because
It
the
pairs
cognac
so-
comes through big time.
It pairs so well with cigars too.
Yes, it does.
really
It
does.
does.
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I've always liked the Parker's Heritage. I mean, they've always been good. This one here, just I don't know, there's something different. Well, obviously being malt whiskey, it's a little different, but hey, it's so good. Again, Heaven Hill product. We're gonna love it.
Well, and we know people are going to be coming in as the weather's getting colder. Obviously people stick around here. They're having pours. Getting into the holiday season, people just enjoy spending time with friends and family and coming out. Give us a quick update on barrel picks that you have, because I know
Yeah.
like a Starlight just got
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah, we just dropped the Starlight Double Oak pick, Hungarian and American Oak barrel, straight bourbon, 119 proof, which is a little high for a lot of the Starlight stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really, really good. If you like the double oak stuff that's been coming out, this is actually a kind of a unique double oak with that Hungarian oak. It does something a little funky, which is nice. That one's in now. We're still waiting. Jack Daniels is on Jack Daniels' schedule. We're still waiting on that. We were supposed to be getting it in by the end of the year. We're almost at the end of the year. We'll see. But we got a Jack barrel proof rye pick coming.
And as far as ones that are about done,
Yeah, well, we just
killed
you and Chris
Yeah.
killed off the last of the Starlight rye
Rye.
port barrel,
yep,
and
that's gone. The
was
Elijah
a
Craig
sad
is getting
getting
low.
Elijah Craig's getting lower, the backbone's getting lower, and then we still have the Peachtree, because Peachtree we had double the bottles on. We still have a little bit of the old Clifties in here too.
But the high proof ones,
The high proof, I think
Pretty
we got
much-
a bottle left of that.
yeah.
And then the bourbon one, I mean, the low proof one at 140.9
Exactly.
is still available. So, those are
These
still
are available, but I mean, people come in here and they're going to get barrel picks, and it's going to go quick.
Well, and
Yeah.
if you're interested, again, we're going to have the flight starting next week. We will have a barrel pick flight. So it's going to have 4 of the barrel picks on that flight to try
And we'll cover that in
next week.
Yeah,
Next week.
on our Black Friday show. If you're
Yep.
coming out Black Friday and you'll be able to pay attention. Maybe we should put a speaker up here and broadcast the show so that people can really hear
Mhm.
us talking, and we can cover those flights in person. And
Hey, Mike, bring the setup for
I,
that.
Mike.
I've got a
Oh,
speaker.
you got
for
it?
that.
Okay,
I
good,
got
good.
it.
Okay,
I was gonna say I can
Yeah.
bring the speaker for it.
Okay,
Yeah,
good, good.
yeah, we're good there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll bring a speaker.
I don't
and
think
we'll,
AV is our problem.
No, we got people that got things and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
know how to do all
That's
that.
true. 3 of you guys are in. Me and Will are over here going, just do your thing.
You're right. Right.
Where's the bourbon?
Yes.
But yeah, I hate it when
You
people
bring the bourbon. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
that's true. Yeah, it's true.
There's nothing worse than missing a chance to try something really good.
Yeah.
And we haven't you've got the new Starlight barrel pick, but I mean, we've got a lot that are starting to dwindle down.
Yeah.
And getting to be pretty limited. So,
don't
you're
sleep on them.
You're going to want to get in
You
here
wanna get in
and
here
try
and get
some
them
of these
tried.
bottles.
Yeah.
Because I get the feeling people come in this holiday season and they'll start going pretty fast.
Well, and the other thing too, with having the flights available, so there's going to be, I think it's 5 different flights. They're pre-designed flights. Just
don't give away too much. We got to have something for Friday.
I won't. But it's really designed so that we can actually maintain the product. I can't do a flight of everything because some of those bottles up there, that's the only bottle I got.
Yeah.
You don't want to do all flights, but that'll give you an opportunity to try those barrel picks. And you may say, man, I never thought about trying a brandy. Why would I try a brandy? And then all of a sudden you're going to come in here and start getting pours
You
out of
need
it.
to try a brandy.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. I think it's a good way to you're getting 2 ounces. Well, we'll talk about that next week, but yeah, you're getting a flight. So that'll be coming really soon.
Really soon. Finally.
soon.
Like really soon. For real.
Really, for real this time.
As Rob says, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay. We got about 20 minutes here before game time.
Oh, dang.
Yep. And
This cigar has lasted for an hour and a half.
I was going to say,
not even into the final third yet.
Yeah. Okay. Will, you brought us something.
Oh yeah, we got to get into the.
We'll talk about what the hell this.
This is where
shit
the
is.
listeners go. I used to
what?
trust your palate until now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are batshit crazy. and
Oh,
I
where do I
agree.
begin?
Oh, my
Where do I begin
goodness.
with this? So I've been going down to Evansville for work since I've ever lived in Indiana. And over the course of time, Evansville has really come and gone with their craft beer scene. But I will say there's a brew pub down there called Damsel Brew Pub. It's over off of Wabash Avenue of the Flags and Fulton Street, if you are familiar with that area of Evansville. But they've probably been around for, I'd say, 10.
It's foamy.
They've probably been around there for at least 10 years, maybe longer.
I caught it.
No, I just was looking at you lick your lips because
They
I'm
brew
thinking.
some really great beer.
Yeah.
And all of their beers are named after a woman's name. So this is Elvira.
Mm-hmm.
Elvira is a stout. And what's unique about Elvira is that it is, if you know, in East Coast stouts on microbreweries, they do oyster stouts a lot of times where they'll brew with oyster liqueurs or oysters themselves to give it that briny, salty taste. Well, there's a festival in Evansville every fall put on by the West Side Nut Club. And it's a civic club, but this fall festival brings in at least 100 food vendors. And they have all these food vendors. And there's probably 250,000 people that come through that weekend
Wow.
for that event. It's huge. It's one of Evansville's biggest events.
Yeah.
But a very popular item that they sell are fried brain sandwiches at this event. So to pay homage to that brain sandwich, those brains that are served there, they brewed this stout with brains.
Let's go.
So this is a true brain stout. It's 5% ABV, so it's not super high.
Brain
Because,
beer.
brains don't ferment that well.
Right.
You don't get a lot of alcohol out of brains. But
Tell us more about fermenting brains.
but
So it's a smart food.
18 IBUs.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously it's it's
the
true stout
animal
fashion.
that this came from, it was they named it Abby Normal.
Abby Normal.
Abby Normal.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. So the story behind this was Will's like, they got fucking brain beer here, and he was bashing it, and then we're like, everyone's like, that sounds gross. That sounds gross. I'm like, I'm kind
Buy
of
some.
intrigued, and I was thinking, okay, buy a crowler.
Calling all dog lovers, say hello to Spencer Lee's, offering freeze-dried pet treats, crafted with care and bursting with flavor. Spencer Lee's treats are the ultimate reward for your four-legged friend. Made from single ingredients and freeze-dried to perfection, these treats are packed with all the goodness your pup craves. Be sure to visit Spencer Lee's on Facebook or Instagram for updates and website information.
We'll try it. He comes home with 3 crowlers.
I know. I go way too much. But I'm like, I got to get it because I may like it.
That's gonna be Thanksgiving beer, isn't it?
Probably.
All
So
right.
anyway, we're gonna go for the taste here.
It's light.
Yeah.
It's a very light stout.
Well, thank God it doesn't taste like brains.
Have
As
you-
far as I
have
haven't
you
had
eaten
brains, so I
brains?
guess I don't really know. It tastes like stout. Yeah, I mean, there's some kind of sort of subtle something in there.
I feel smarter.
That's what I was wondering. Do any of us feel more intelligent?
It's very light on the palate.
It is. It's actually surprisingly
I wouldn't
light for a
expect it to be
stout.
that light.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be almost like a richer than
It
like
reminds
Guinness
me
or
of-
whatever.
It reminds
It's
me
not.
more of a brown ale.
Yeah.
Well, I asked
It
the
does have
bartender.
a long finish.
I asked
Yeah.
the bartender. I said, "Look, what brains? Like, where the brains come from?" She said, "Do you really want to know?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "They're the brains of our last bartender." I said, "All right,
That's great.
Fair enough.
That's great.
it's actually really good."
It's actually good. Yeah.
This is a good beer.
This is honestly one of those kind of, most stouts are heavy.
I was just gonna say it's not a heavy
It's
stout.
not heavy. This would be crushable. You could drink
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole can of this and it wouldn't bother you. Like a big can of stout, it's like I want one stout
Well,
and that's all I
yeah.
want.
And it is a big can.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and like I've had the oyster stouts,
Yeah.
and they definitely come across with a slight bit of
Salt.
brininess.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little salty. This doesn't have that. I mean, I don't want to say it's a gimmick.
It's a gimmick.
It's
It is.
but that's okay.
Yeah,
they
nothing wrong
did it
with
with it was meant to be paired with, the idea of the brain sandwich. So I like it. It's fun. It does kind of make you go, do I really want to drink this? But you'd be okay.
Yeah.
I almost want to have a Reuben with this.
That
Ooh.
sounds
It's a
delicious
good call.
That's
and
actually not a bad
disgusting all
idea.
at the same time. I'm like,
I mean, I'm not sure about the
yeah.
brain sandwich, but to me, with the flavor notes that this is putting
Dude,
off,
I would try a brain sandwich.
yeah.
a nice Reuben with some nice kraut. And
Oh yeah.
it just
Yeah. I
seems
could
like
see
it
it
would
totally
pair
working
really
with
well.
this.
I still
Yeah.
remember there's this restaurant in Elwood that used to sell brains and eggs. That was one of the things on their menu. Every time we go up there, my mom would always get brains and eggs. And I'm like, that's the always thing I think about. And I think they actually, well, I don't know if they still do or not, but they did not too long ago still serve that. And I'm like, I've never had
So
brains.
they brew. They probably have like 12 or 14 beers on. They have a lot of beers.
Well, you said you
and
said
I
that
think
picture
they have
that had
4
that big ass list.
IPAs.
Is that the name of the brewery, Damsel?
Damsel.
Damsel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool can.
I told they were excited when I told them we were going to do this on the podcast.
Oh, cool.
So shout out to you guys
Shout
at
out to
Damsel,
Damsel.
if
Damsel
you're
Brewery.
watching.
And they're
Great
in
beer,
Evansville, right?
Evansville, Indiana.
Okay.
Definitely they have food, great food menu, sandwiches, burgers,
Well,
appetizers.
in Evansville, you got Cigar there.
yeah.
So you got a cigar lounge you can go to. You can go to the brewery down there too. Definitely get down there. That's something we need to do. We haven't been to another shop in a while. We need to take a trip again sometime
Yeah.
soon.
Well, we can get to Evansville much faster.
Fairly
now.
yeah,
easy.
now you can. Yeah.
69 is finally open southbound. So
Well, and I did hear Professional Smoke, I believe, is open now in Greenwood. So we'll have to make our trip down to see those guys down there and see how
so
they're
I
doing.
will say, second then third drink, there is something slightly milky, meaty, kind of on the sides of my tongue.
Yeah,
Not-
there is something there.
By the way, it's not like bad or anything. It's different.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
It
different.
is different. Yeah.
With the knuckle sandwich Maduro, because I told him we'd pair a cigar with this. So with this knuckle sandwich, getting a lot of chocolate notes
Yeah.
pulled out of the cigar that are
Yeah.
I think are just accentuated by this.
Well, and-
yeah.
I was
And
going to say, I don't know that it goes real well with this one, but I would not be surprised at all if it went really well with
Yeah.
the knuckle sandwich.
Well, and we just got a couple of new beers in from Pax Verum, and there's one of their stouts. It's a chocolate coconut, and everyone that has had it so far said it's like a liquid almond joy.
Almond Joy. Yep.
So that's
go.
available here too. I mean, we could pop it out, but we don't have time right now. But we'll figure that
Also
out. And
with
try
the
it.
cigar, I'm getting a little tanginess out of the beer.
Are you?
A little
Yeah.
more like, I call it tangy, but I don't really know how else to describe it. More acidity maybe coming out
Yeah.
of the beer. Like,
Well, this reminds me of if you've ever had some porters that didn't quite get to porter level. Just a little brighter, a little lighter, or even like
Yeah,
a black
not
IPA,
quite the heavy-
a little darker.
yeah. If this
I-
had heavier hops in it, I think I'd actually like it.
Yeah.
more like if they'd taken it into a black IPA instead of a stout.
I was gonna
Because
say
it's really close to a black IPA just
Yeah.
without
Because
the,
of
It
the
is.
bitter
lines,
backing.
yeah.
it's definitely in the middle between two places I'd like it to be. They're a little hoppier or a little thicker and more like an oatmeal stout.
So I'd say make this an annual, but make it like you could take it to the black IPA level next year instead of stout,
Instead of,
or you
yeah,
could do a
stout.
porter the year after that.
And black IPAs have kind of went off.
Fallen off,
Yeah.
man. And that's one of my absolute favorites.
And but you're the anomaly because
am.
a lot of people don't. So brewers don't make it because
I
they
like
don't sell
black
it.
IPAs. I don't drink them that often, but they're solid.
Well, and I think one of the challenges is like a lot of people debate what is a black IPA because people say, oh, it's supposed to be an IPA that just has a dark color, right? And so you're supposed to put very, very little high roast grain,
Yeah.
high roast malt in there. Now I disagree. I like
I do
to
too.
add a little bit
It
more
should have a little more.
so that it changes the texture as well.
Yeah.
And it changes how the CO2 interacts
Yeah.
because you're always going to get a little bit tighter head than what you get out of an IPA.
Yeah.
And, a bit more creaminess to it. And that's the black IPA I like. But people are like, oh, no, that's just like a hoppy stout. Well, okay, you're full of shit. You don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. I
Yeah.
think you got to make it more than just the color. Otherwise, it's a gimmick. It doesn't actually impact flavor.
I know the first beer I ever brewed was a hoppy brown ale, and that's what I like, and that's where I felt like a lot of the black IPAs were going towards. It was hoppier, but this was a little bit more roasty than the black IPAs are.
Yeah.
I do. Honestly, if I'm drinking a beer, I want to taste the hops.
yeah.
Yes.
I like hops, and I mean I don't like a 120-minute IPA from Dogfish Head. That's just gross to me. I know people love it.
I love 90, and I love
90's not
I
bad.
love resin from 6 Point, which is just psycho over the top.
Yeah.
And I love it. But they also serve it in those smaller cans. Well, they used to serve it in smaller cans. I think they're up to full size now. I think they used to be
Yeah.
9-ounce cans
Yeah.
for
Well,
that.
That's
My-
just because
My favorite
can
IPA
shortage.
is probably Triton Rail Splitter. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that one.
dude, I'll tell you what. Every time I drink a real splitter, I get a splitting freaking headache.
Do you?
I don't. It's just my head. I don't know what it is, but
There is
something about that. Is,
a smoky note to Rail Splitter. If I'm going to drink Rail Splitter, I only want to drink Rail Splitter.
Yeah.
Because if I drink Rail Splitter and then I go have like a Daredevil liftoff or something like that, suddenly it just, it really like is,
I
is
feel like where
bizarre.
Triton excels is their sours.
They
Their
are
sours
excellent.
are really
I can see
good.
They
that.
do a lot of gozas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sun King, Grapefruit Jungle,
Yeah.
solid IPA.
Always
I
good.
love Grapefruit
Yeah.
Jungle.
Yeah.
I really love Velvety Kush from PAX. That's a regular release now from them.
That's a
and
great beer.
That's a great beer.
We haven't really done, have we done other than the Bourbon County Stout, which Black Friday's coming up. So make
Yeah.
sure and get your Bourbon County Stout if that's your thing.
Oh, that's right. It's Black Friday, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. And honestly, I
I think
think
they have, I can't remember if it's 5 or 6.
well, and the
releases
prices aren't
this
near
year.
as aggressive as they used to be, are they?
I think they're still $20 a bottle.
Okay, I thought they were
Yeah.
more than that before. I thought they were like
No,
$50 a bottle.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they do make some special releases that go up to like 200 to 250 a bottle.
Okay.
But as far as the regular, and then they're, they run it as a series where they do different finishes. I think it's either 5 or 6 different releases this year on Black Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got an email from, I forget who it was, maybe Cons or something that they had the lineup in there.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe we'll get some of those and be able to do another tasting.
Well, we were talking about Cons last night a little bit too. Cons used to be kind of the place to go in Indianapolis because there wasn't a lot
Especially
of
to
great
get
places,
beer.
especially to get good craft beer. They they don't have a lot of the barrel picks, but they did have a barrel pick you were talking about last night.
They did an Old Forester.
Yes,
Old
they did.
Forester.
They just
and they still
started
had
sold
several
out.
cases
It said
left.
3 cases as
Oh.
of late last night.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
Yeah.
honestly, a lot of people don't go there. You might still be able to get it even when this airs.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Coming into the weekend,
Yeah, that's
people
true.
are going to go in and find it. And I love those Old Forester barrel picks. Maybe not marzipan, but you know, everybody else keeping it under $100.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I touching on a sore subject there?
Yeah, I
Well,
was
we
gonna
can
say,
bypass that. We can talk about that.
I think you just ice picked him a little on that one.
I know.
The good
I
thing
know.
about
Sorry,
Old
man.
Forester is I don't think I've ever had an Old Forester pick that I'm like, I wouldn't drink that.
I agree.
And I mean, Elijah Craig, we've had some Elijah Craig's, barrel picks. So I'm like, yeah, that's not my jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, for the most part, Old Forester, it always gets hit, and they're all different. I mean, we've had some crazy banana bombs lately coming out of their stuff.
Yeah. The
And-
117, 375 bottles, 375 mils.
Well, the Rise was a
Rise
banana bomb.
Yep. I did, yeah.
I mean, right now, I think the best thing coming out of there are their single barrel Rise.
I agree.
It's so
I agree.
good right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've still got some of that Nora pick left. That's
Oh, yeah.
what, 136 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And they're
it's-
all high proof.
Yeah, they are.
but I keep wanting to drink it, and then I'm just like, no, save it.
Yeah.
Because
Push it back.
I want to kill that bottle so bad because it's so good for the proof, and
I've got a bottle open of an Old Forester single barrel pick that was Rural Inn's very first Old Forester pick they ever
wow.
did. I've got a
Man.
bottle
Yeah.
of that. Yeah. And
Well,
it's
and
solid. Yeah.
That's something maybe the first of the year or something like that. We talk about maybe some of our all time favorite bourbons we've ever had. Because I know one that you've talked about recently, that Russell's 15 might be the
Yeah.
best thing you've ever tasted.
I said it outright. I mean, as
Yeah.
soon as it took all of about 2 seconds, and I was like, this
it's
is
the best bourbon I've ever had.
the best I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I'll agree with Eric Jansen. He did say for the price that he thought it should have had a longer finish.
Longer finish.
I don't recall the finish, which probably means it didn't stand out. But just from first touching my tongue and tasting it, I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this is absolutely amazing. And everybody's palate's different, right? So
It is.
you're gonna
Yeah.
have different favorites for different
Yeah.
people.
Well, it's again, a lot of people they kind of shit on just Wild Turkey 101, or they shit on just regular Jim Beam. But you get some of those old decanters, and I mean some of that old dusty Wild Turkey is some of the best juice I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that, but it's very good. And some of the new stuff from Wild Turkey, like the one that Drew's got.
Yep.
I mean, come on, man. It's
Well,
great
and
stuff.
we should another birthday, right? It was Jimmy Russell. Didn't you say? it
Yeah,
was his-
Jimmy's 90th birthday was this week.
So
Well, happy
happy
birthday,
birthday,
Happy
Jimmy.
birthday, Mr. Jimmy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cheers.
Yep.
I'm sure he's watching.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sure
I'm sure
he
he
is.
is.
Of course he is.
Now he is.
He
If,
stopped
Tag him in
following-
it.
if you've had
you
a
know.
chance to meet him, he's just
He's a great
the
man.
nicest guy.
So,
Yeah.
question for you: I know you watch all Fred Minnick's videos when he releases them.
Yeah.
Have you watched the George T. Stag yet? What did he say about George T?
He liked it.
This
He
year's.
thought it was solid. He thought
Okay.
it was lacking a little bit on I want to say maybe the finish. He thought it was better than he compared it to two Indiana products. He said it's better than the Remus Repeal Reserve that was released this year, but it's not as good as the Remus Volstead that was released this year.
Mm.
So he said it'll make his top 100 for sure.
Well,
It's
sure,
that good,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it wasn't the best one he's had. He did not like the William LaRue Weller. He thought
This
it was
year
a big
was
miss.
good?
No.
Okay.
And then Eagle Rare 17, he said it was the best bourbon he's ever tasted with the shortest finish he's ever had in his life. He said, you taste it, it is amazing, and it's gone. And
Huh.
it's like,
Wow.
the Eagle Rare 17. So he hasn't tasted the Rise yet, the Handy
Okay.
or
The
the
Handy or
SAS
the
18. But
Okay.
yeah, he hasn't tasted Russell's 15 yet. I actually messaged him. I said, dude, you got to do a review on that. Like, I think
Wait until I get a bottle, please.
if it doesn't end up in its top 10 this year, I'll be surprised.
Yeah. Is that the one you brought in for us to try?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It was insane. It was very good.
Yeah, I
anything
know
else?
it's a strong statement to talk about being, best bourbon you ever taste, but
Well, and that's the thing too. That's a good point to make. Your palates change constantly as you get into whiskey.
Yep.
No one, I shouldn't say no one. Most people never start with a 130 proof bourbon. It's just going to blast your
Yeah.
palate. But as you drink it, you start realizing the nuances, and then you want to proof up, and you keep proofing up. I mean, I'm in a boat right now where I'm super excited when I see a 97 proofer come out there that has great flavor.
Yeah.
And
Like
you know,
this Bloody Butcher.
like the Bloody Butcher.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm kind of excited to see some lower proof stuff coming out really good. It's not just watered down.
Yeah.
So, I feel like you kind of go through waves.
Why don't you
I
hand
know
out
we're-
Bloody Butcher over here? I'm gonna get another little.
I
pour.
know
Well, I was gonna say, now that you've lit the
Eric,
knuckle sandwich, if you
Well, I
take
will
another
say-
swig of that and see if you don't almost get like a portobello style meaty,
oh, see, I hate mushrooms, so
Yeah.
I'm not even worried about it.
or are you just not worried about it?
I'm just not gonna try it.
All right.
No, I'm actually
It left
pleasantly
a
surprised.
There was
bit
a-
of
it was a-
aftertaste
it was an
to me
interesting-
that was-
It was an interesting meaty flavor to the damsel, and then when I actually took a draw off it was probably my second or third draw off the knuckle sandwich. It almost gave the like almost like a mushroom meaty, not like like a sirloin
Okay.
meat, but like a mushroom meatiness flavor to it off of that.
I'm just gonna say it. I love the knuckle sandwich, but I don't think it's pulling the flavor that the Black Friday did for me. Like
Not yet. I think it does ramp up toward the end,
maybe, yeah.
but I think the Black Friday almost kind of stood out more on complexity of flavor.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is going to throw off some things, so we're going to have to actually text some people.
Okay,
A live update.
live update.
Colin just texted me. They're going to be out here closer to 2.
Dude.
Oh,
2.
So they're going to be here for the end of the IU game.
Okay.
So we need whoever was planning on coming later tonight to see the boys, we're going to have to text them. So we're going to have to figure out who those all were and let them know.
Great. So I'm gonna sit here drinking all
day.
and then go to a bourbon party tonight.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's another good thing.
That does. It means I don't have to split my time.
Well, but I mean, Lucas, that's your
Yep.
cousin.
Shout out to my cousin Lucas.
Lucas Deschamps.
We should
He
have
always-
him on sometime.
We
He-
need
yeah.
to. Actually, what we need to do is next time he does one of the Scotch events,
Yeah.
let's have him come on before, and we'll talk about what he's going to do and what he does.
It's great because he throws some home parties, and this
Yeah.
it'd be a great kind of intro for people to know how do you do this. Like,
Yes, that's what I was
like
going
what
to
are
say.
some ideas on how to throw tasting parties? Because we do that all the time. We like get bottles together and
Yeah.
do bottle share stuff, but
And
know,
this is kind of a bottle share, but it's elevated.
Well, a formal
There's a focus.
party where you're doing a tasting, you got to put a lot of thought into it.
do.
You
of
do.
How you're going to progress it and what you're going to put it together. 'Cause you can't just like
well, in
hodgepodge
different
things
styles,
together.
right? So you can like with I know one of the ways that he does is that people bring bottles
Yep.
and it's just a free for all, right? And it's more of a social event. But you comment, you're obviously talking about it. Then you got more formal, like what you're talking about, where we're going to do like, hey, a progression of these things. Let me
Yeah.
know what you're bringing ahead of time so that we can figure out where it fits in a tasting. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. So we'll definitely get Lucas out here and talk about that.
That'd be fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we wrap up? We're getting ready to have kickoff
Yeah,
here.
it's about kickoff. So just a reminder, the pairing of the month, the Bloody Butcher, the Black Friday, as long
Yep.
as the Black Fridays are available.
Yep.
Wednesday, definitely come out. It's the biggest bar night, of the year,
Yep.
every single year. And then daycare.
Black
Daycare
Friday
on
daycare.
Black Friday, daycare.
Treat
So,
yourself.
noon to 10,
yeah,
baby.
come
out here all
and
day.
hang out and enjoy yourself. Get your shopping done early and then come enjoy a cigar and some good friendship out here.
Or kick the shopper out and have them drop you off on the way to shopping.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's the best way.
All right, Will, where can they find you?
Find me at Cocky Wolverine.
Will?
other
The
Will, Moto Photo Will, Instagram.
All right, find me anywhere. Final Third Cigar.
I thought I had a siren going here, but I forgot it's the siren.
It's
set.
12:02, baby.
You can find me at Scotty D Smokes. As always, this is the Final Third podcast.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys.